Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the engines are fired on pit road, and we are ready now to join the Performance Racing Network with Ken Squire, Bill Cannell, and Hill Overton for today's description of the Mello Yello 300.
And Barry Bostic. Moving to row 19, old friend Ben Curley from Hidden Knight, North Carolina, in the Maxey's Bending Pontiac, and beside him is Chuck Lane Jr., number 37. In row 18 is Mark Gibson in a Pontiac, and flanking him on the inside is John McFadden, also in a Pontiac number 58. In row 17, the 34th position is Rodney Howard in the Powell Pontiac, and beside him is Harry Lee Hill, number 97. J.D. McDuffie will start on the outside of the 16th row. Inside is Mike Riley. Going to the 15th row is car number 4, Joe Thurman, and Ronnie Silver, involved in a swamper of a crash in Dover, Delaware just 2 weeks ago. Silver is back and ready to try once again in his Oldsmobile. In the 14th row, 28th position is Howard Rose, and a longtime favorite from the Virginia area, Satch Worley in the Longwood Restaurant Dodge, starts 27th on the inside of row 14. Going to row 13, it's Alan Powell in the Weist Racing Pontiac, and flanking him is Mike Watts on the inside, the 25th position for car 86 Watts, outside 42 Powell. In row 12, the International Sedan, now the Darlington Dash Series champion on many occasions, car number 50, Marion Cox's automobile, Larry Hoopaw at the controls today, and beside him is Kirk Bryant in the 23 position with car number 02. Moving then to the 11th row from Upland, California, great short track driver, proving himself on the Winston Cup Tour these days. That is Joe Ruttman, who finished third at Dover, Delaware just a couple of weeks back, number 98, and also set on the pole with a record for the Monster Mile. And beside him is the many-time National Sportsman champion, the Iron Man, the great Jack Ingram, in car number 11 for the 21st position. In the 10th row is Mitchell Clark in a Pontiac, and beside him is another Grand National star who does a little moonlighting in the sportsman ranks. Number 46, Slick Johnson, starts in that 19th position. Going to the 9th position, one of the most famous names in stock car racing, Jarrett. And the Pet Dairies Pontiac will have Dale Jarrett at the keyboard.
We need everybody to move back from the fence, please.
1978 National Sportsman champion Butch Lindley is in that 15th starting position. It's going to be father against son here today. In the 7th row, car number 14, number 23, Davey Allison, the Miller High Life Pontiac, and then comes Bosco Lowe in car number 70, a veteran of some 2 decades of racing. Davey Allison outside of row 7, and his dad a little further up here. And moving along in the 6th starting row, Mike Porter is qualified in car number 3, his Oldsmobile, for the 12th starting position today. He won a Mello Yello Invitational race at the Lonesome Pine International Raceway up in Coburn, Virginia. Mike Porter starting in the 12th position. Then comes Sammy Ard in the 00, always a contender. This car is several years old. It has run and led a lot of these sportsman races on super speedways, but this particular car that Sam Ard has under him today has never tasted victory lane with Sammy Ard at the controls. In the 5th row, the 10th starting position is the Virginian Tommy Ellis in car number 12. Ellis starting 10th, and beside him comes Joe Kelly, the car built by his father Frank Kelly, number 34. That's another Pontiac. Then comes Glenn Jarrett in number 24. The Bud Light Bullfrog Knits car of Glenn Jarrett starts in the 8th position, and beside him is one of the most highly regarded figures in sportsman racing, Bobby Allison, number 22. Going to the 3rd row, Pete Silva. He starts outside. Inside is Bill Elliott, subbing for Darrell Waltrip today. In row number 2 is car number 28. That's Harry Gant in the Skoll-bonded Pontiac, and beside him is Dale Earnhardt with a Wrangler car, number 15, the Robert G. machine. In the front row at 160.528 miles per hour, Neil Bonnet, and on the pole, Morgan Shepherd, the 2-time winner of this event. Let's pause 10 seconds for station identification. All right, preparing for a start this afternoon in this Mello Yello 300, 200 laps of competition with Morgan Shepherd on the point as the field rolls down the backstretch in the preliminary lap. Tomorrow, the World 600 to be decided for the 4th 24th time, a $478,000 confrontation among the world's best stock car drivers. Banjo, who do you look for to be strong out here at the end of 300 miles today?
Boy, I think that's going to be a hard thing to figure out, but you take the first 10 positions there, it's just hard to pick out anything that goes on. You see Earnhardt and Bonnet and Morgan Shepherd, and they all really race.
Crowd coming to their feet. And the field rolling out of turn number 4 off the 17-degree banking down for a start. They're holding them down to about 50, 55, 60, building a little. Everyone tightly bunched together, and the white and yellow car colors of Morgan Shepherd first out in front as they go to turn 1. It is Shepherd and Neil Bonnet side by side. Harry Gant on the outside of row number 2 and Earnhardt. It's just a dead heat. 4 cars stacked in there. Here comes Bill Elliott in the car number 17. Elliott is on the move, and now 5 cars begin to battle for the lead. They're midway down the backstretch.
And right now, it's Neil Bonnet pulling that candy apple red, white, and gold automobile number 75 into the lead. He's right down at the bottom of the racetrack, being followed in hot pursuit by Dale Earnhardt, who drops to the inside in turn 4. Riding in third spot, it's Morgan Shepherd and then Harry Gant.
Following in 5th is Bill Elliott, then Pete Silva holds 6th. And Bobby Allison moves into 7th at turn 1. Neil Bonnet's got Dale Earnhardt, along with Morgan Shepherd, Harry Gant, then Bill Elliott, followed by Pete Silva, Bobby Allison. They're stacked up in front 7 in a real draft down the back chute.
5-car choo-choo train led by Bonnet, then Earnhardt, who drops to the inside, moving into 3. Riding third spot, Morgan Shepherd, your pole sitter. In 4th, Harry Gant into number 28. And the yellow and white car of 17, driven by Bill Elliott, rides by.
Earnhardt goes for the lead. Bonnet fights him off. It is dead heat at the end of lap number 2. Elliott, rather, on the inside, Earnhardt, on the outside, Bonnet. Now it is Earnhardt pulling away.
And turn number 4, car number 8 has just spun it down off of the banking of turn 4. He pulls it down slowly, smoking. Also, another automobile is right down on the inside, at the inside retaining wall. That's number 37, who's down in the wall there. That would be the car of Chip Lane Jr. of Kernersville. And the other automobile, number 8, driven by Mike Riley of South Daytona Beach, Florida. They're coming by now at a reduced rate of speed.
First caution is out, and as they come by to take yellow, it'll be Earnhardt in front, Bonnet in 2nd, and wheeling down through on the outside, picking up a lot of spots as everyone else backed off, was Jack Ingram in number 11. Ingram wheeling up through to 3rd spot as they were coming back to the flag. Most of the leaders had come out of the throttle, but Earnhardt took Ingram took a real hard ride on the outside and took down about 8 automobiles coming to the flag. That will make him 3rd on the field. We are in the first caution period of the race, and let's go back again to turn number 4 for an update as to what happened up there.
Well, when I looked around, we had 2 cars spinning down to the inside of the Speedway. It was car number 8, driven by Mike Riley of South Daytona Beach, Florida. The other automobile was car number 37 with Chip Lane Jr., the chauffeur from Kernersville, North Carolina, with a Hayes Jewelers Pontiac aboard that car. Otherwise, there was a car that went down pit row who eluded us, so there were at least 3 automobiles involved in that fracas, Ken.
Caution for at least 3 laps as the safety crews are out on the track inspecting turns 3 and 4.
I pilot my own plane, and my co-pilot is a little round can of Copenhagen.
NASCAR driver Cale Yarborough talked.
Okay, an altercation in turn 4 brought out our first yellow flag of the day involving Mike Riley driving car number 8, Chip Lane Jr. of Kernersville, North Carolina, in car 37, and Howard Rose in car 56 of Ashland, Kentucky. We should have a short caution period here. Once again, we'll urge you to take advantage of our fine concession stands and also maybe take this chance to visit the souvenir stands conveniently located around the Charlotte Motor Speedway today. And you can take time to visit those anytime today during the Mello Yello 300. And also, we'll be back in just a moment or two with the Performance Racing Network for their continuing update of today's activities. During the Mello Yello 300, also, we'll urge you to tune in tomorrow during World 600 for Earnhardt has clawed his way from 3rd place up to the point, followed by Neil Bonnet. Bill Kazaya, please report to the main gate. Bill Kazaya, would you please report to the main gate?
From 21st to 3rd came Jack Ingram at the start of this event. He's really on a roll as they come around, and they're putting out a caution flag for another lap. They had given the indication for 1 lap. and Ernie Moore had walked across the grass and back onto pit road. They are now indicating Harold Kinder putting out the flag again. And I think the problem is down in Hill Overton's area. Let's go down to Hill and see if we can get a word from it.
Right you are. It appears there's some coolant down at the base of turn number 4 that erupted from the radiator of one or more of the cars involved in that incident just a few laps ago. It's about 3 to 4 feet just below the broken yellow line that signifies the bottom groove here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, and then it trails on back down lower on the apron. But it could be that NASCAR officials have decided to put some quick dry material down on that spot. We'll wait and see and keep you posted on that.
Yesterday, in attempting to qualify for this race, there was one serious crash. Rick Handley crashed in turn number 4 and was injured. He is in serious condition, and we can give you an update on his condition. X-rays show that Handley suffered a broken right ankle and broken bones just above the ankle in both his right and left legs, and he also had a broken right arm. He had a slight concussion, and additional X-rays were scheduled for this morning. We'll try to update you more on the condition of Rick Handley, who crashed here yesterday in the turn 3 and 4 area. His car went up the track, hit the outside concrete retaining wall nearly head-on, then bounced back to the inside. He was at about 150, 160 miles per hour in his Pontiac at approximately the midway mark of turns 3 and 4 when the car went out of control, tagged the wall, and tagged the wall a second time. It moved the steering wheel out to the left side of the car, moved it out of position about 8 inches. Again, in serious but stable condition is Rick Handley, 18 years old, from West Point, Virginia, who crashed in qualifying for this Sportsman 300 a day ago. As the field comes by, still under caution, with 6 laps complete now, only 2 under green, the remainder under this yellow flag. We have in front Dale Earnhardt first, followed by Neil Bonnet second, Jack Ingram third, Morgan Shepherd fourth, and going to the 5th position is last year's winner Harry Gant. Then comes Bill Elliott 6th, and in 7th is Pete Silva with the 8th position at the present time, belonging to the 24 of Glenn Jarrett, and right after him comes Sammy Ard. Ard started in 11th, he's up to 8th, and he's picked up 3 spots in the early going.
Mike Joy here with Richard Batting. Richard, you've sure had some ups and downs in your long racing career.
Well, I've had plenty of headaches over the years, you can bet that, and I'll have plenty in the future as far as that's concerned, but it's been well worth it to be able to accomplish what I've done and be able to come back and say, okay, we've won this and we won that, and then sometimes when we didn't win, then we just take a goodies and forget the whole thing.
Read the label, folks. Goodies headache powders give you the 2 pain relievers doctors recommend most.
Goodies gets rid of the pain fast, and that's what counts.
Win or lose, after a race, I look forward to getting me a dip of Skoal. NASCAR driver Harry Gant talks about how much he enjoys Skoal moist tobacco. Barreling around the Speedway is a tough way to make.
Okay, when we go back to green flag racing, it'll be Dale Earnhardt on the point here at the Mello Yello 300, followed by Neil Bonnet, and then it's going to be Jack Ingram, who has moved up from 21st position all the way up to assume the 3rd spot right now in today's running in the Mello Yello 300. Just a moment, we'll be rejoining once again the Performance Racing Network.
Participants in all of the 6 Mello Yello 300s, and for that story, let's go to Bill Cannell.
Well, you know, those 4 drivers are Morgan Shepherd, who has won here 3 times, the Ironman Jack Ingram, defending champion Harry Gant, and Glenn Jarrett, the son of 2-time Grand National champion Ned Jarrett. Those are the 4 drivers. Things look good down at turns 1 and 2, but Ken, one interesting point is the sun is beaming down here, and it should be heating up the racing surface a great deal. It could get quite slippery down here before the afternoon is over.
Earnhardt with the blue and yellow car number 15, prepared by Robert G., comes to the line. Right behind him is one of the Warner Hodgson cars, number 75, with Neil Bonnet at the controls as they take the green flag. 3rd is Ingram, 4th is Shepherd. 5th, going down to turn 1, is last year's winner Harry Gant. And there's a battle for 6th spot going on between Bill Elliott and Pete Sylvia. Back in 7th would be the car 24 of Glenn Jarrett. Riding in 8th is Bobby Allison. 9th is Sammy Ard. They head down the backstretch.
Where it's 2 Oldsmobiles, 2 Pontiacs in that order down the back straightaway. Tight duel going into turn 3 between Earnhardt and Bonnet as they have about 3 car lengths over Jack Ingram, who rides 3rd, Morgan Shepherd 4th, Harry Gant 5th. Bill Elliott in the Darrell Waltrip car is 6th off of turn 4.
10 laps complete. 10 laps complete as they come to the line. It is Earnhardt still leading. In that 7th spot, Silva. 8th is Jarrett. 9th is Allison as they seesaw back and forth. Allison picking up a position on the start immediately. Back they go to 1.
Mike Porter has moved up into the 11th spot in that car number 3. He won up in Martinsville a few years ago. Leaders down the backstretch. You can throw a blanket over them.
And there's a change for the 3rd spot as Morgan Shepherd gets around the car driven by the Iron Man. Jack Ingram takes over 3rd. Harry Gant rides 4th. Ingram relegated back to 5th spot while Bill Elliott rides 6th.
On that restart, Butch Lindley was black flagged for jumping the start. He was black flagged for moving by automobiles before he was supposed to. Back into turn number 1. The battle is for 3rd spot.
The battle in 3rd is Harry Gant, and he gets Morgan Shepherd. Gant down on the inside, Shepherd on the outside. He slices the needle through out of turn number 2. Down the backstretch. Look at Bonnet trying to move to the inside.
Top 2 automobiles, Neil Bonnet, Dale Earnhardt. Earnhardt in the lead in those cars, and they have about 8 cars now with 3rd spot in Harry Gant. They ride the low groove into turn 4, now sweep it up toward the wall where it's still Earnhardt in car 15.
Butch Lindley has made his mandatory stop and is back on the track. Now 12 laps complete. 5th spot is Ingram. 6th spot is Elliott. 7th is Silva. 8th is Allison as they go back to turn 1.
Riding 9th is Glenn Jarrett. In the 10th spot would be the car number 00 of Sammy Hart. 11th now is Joe Ruttman. Ruttman has moved up to 11.
Back straightaway battle is for 3rd position.
And we have that battle going door to door into turn 3, going low. Morgan Shepherd of Conover, North Carolina, your pole sitter, rides door to door with Harry Gant. Gant in the number 28 green and white Stoll car, and now sticking a nose out front is Shepherd.
The blue and yellow car of Dale Earnhardt stays front with Bonnet tucked right to him. In that 10th position remains Ard, and showing 11th at the present time is J.D. McDuffie with a 12th spot. 12th spot now car number 12 as they move them around out there. Tommy Ellis is up to 12th.
There's a real battle in the backstretch between Morgan Shepherd and Harry Gant again. Gant takes over 3rd. Shepherd will drop to 4th. Elliott is 5th. Allison has gone to 6th. Ingram has been drop kicked to 7th.
And sweeping it right around turn 4, still your leader is Earnhardt with Bonnet in close for 2.
14 laps now complete. Battle for 3rd still stays strong. Morgan Shepherd is in 4th, trying to take it away from the Skull Bandit, Harry Gant, who is driving what would have been Phil Parsons' ride had not Phil had that terrible spill at Talladega, Alabama. They're already overlapping one car in the back straightaway. Still, Earnhardt stays out in front. He's nearly won this race on 3 of the past 5 previous occasions and then had misfortune. Right now, it is Earnhardt in front as they exit turn 4.
Earnhardt shows a car length and a half over Neil Bonnet. It's still Harry Gant in 3rd. Morgan Shepherd is 4th. The 5th place car driven by Bill Elliott with Allison. Bobby Allison in 6th.
In that 7th spot is Jack Ingram. Pete Silva has fallen back to the 8th position.
And riding in the 9th spot would be Glenn Jarrett. Then it would be Joe Ruttman in 10th. 11th, Sammy Hart. And in the 12th spot would be the car number 2. I believe that's Ronnie Silver's car.
They're sticking it very close together, and here's a challenge for the lead. Can he have a red, white, and gold number 75? A Bonnet got down momentarily. He's still inside of the car driven by Dale Earnhardt as they pull it off of 4. Still Earnhardt with a nose.
It is Bonnet on the inside, on the outside. As they run wheel to wheel, it's Earnhardt. Back to turn number 1.
Gant is trying to stick it right in the middle of them, make it 3 wide down at turn 1. They're heading for turn number 2. It's Earnhardt upstairs, Bonnet downstairs. Harry Gant is hooked on, so is Morgan Shepherd. They're down the back chute.
Where it's a drag race at this point. Right now, Dale Earnhardt has a nose, but here comes fighting back Neil Bonnet to the bottom. Bonnet with half a car length, but he has to get out of it as he finds the car up in the low groove, sweeping it up high now and off the wall and losing ground in the high groove. It's Earnhardt, while Gant rides 3rd and 4th is Bill Elliott.
Bonnet pops out in front as they complete the 17th lap. Neil Bonnet takes 1st place. This is the Performance Racing Network.
Leroy Higgs, please call your brother. It's an emergency. Leroy Higgs, please call your brother. John Moose. John Moose, you need to go to the press box to see Bob Kelly with John Moose. Please go to the press box to see Bob Kelly. And Ronnie Thomas, you're needed in the media center, please. Ronnie Thomas, would you please report to the Winston Media Center in the infield? As they come off of turn 4, it's Dale Earnhardt back on the point again. He's going to be followed by Harry Gant, and then it'll be Neil Bonnet in and back about 3 car lengths to Morgan Shepherd as they round it out into turn 1, hit the accelerator and go into turn 2. Once again, still Dale Earnhardt in the Wrangler car number 15 on the point. Harry Gant rides 2nd, Neil Bonnet 3rd, back 6 car lengths right now to Morgan Shepherd, and then Bill Elliott runs a strong 5th in the Mello Yello 300. As they come back to the stripe, it's still going to be Harry Gant on the point, Neil Bonnet and Earnhardt side by side, followed by Shepard, Bobby Allison, and Bill Elliott in that order.
In front, it is even for second place between Neil Bonnet on the inside and Earnhardt on the outside. Then dropping back to fourth, it's Morgan Shepard right on their rear bumper. And continuing to move up, Bobby Allison is into the fifth spot. Bill Elliott is in sixth. And then there's a big interval back to the seventh position, which currently houses number 1. That is Pete Silva, but he's being challenged by the Levi Garrett number 98 of Joe Ruttman. Battle is for seventh position. Ruttman trying to move underneath the number 1 of Pete Silva. Following them, it is number 11, Ingram, who seems to be falling off the pace. The field is in the back straightaway, and it is Gant in the green and white, Skull Bandit out in front.
Where he has 3 cars over the Neil Bonnet and Dale Earnhardt cars. Actually, Earnhardt's moved up to second now. Bonnet back to third. Fourth spot is Morgan Shepard. Fifth, the car driven by Bobby Allison. And sixth is Bill Elliott in the number 17 Waltrip car.
Caution is out. Caution coming on the track. We have a caution back straightaway, and we have trouble on the backstretch.
And we see smoke right at the entrance of turn number 3. Evidently a car down on the inside retaining wall. Now we do see that automobile. His windshield visible, so he's at a diagonal or a right angle to the inside retaining wall, but we cannot pick up a number because of his spot.
Back straightaway, car number 28 is your leader. We are under caution at the 21st lap. At the 21st lap, under caution. The leader will be Harry Gant in this yellow period. In the second position is Earnhardt. In the third position is car number 75, the Neil Bonnet car with the old Wood Brothers color. And then comes Morgan Shepard in fourth. They will complete 23 laps this time by. And as they come under the caution, checking on that car that went down, Gant is first, Earnhardt is second, Bonnet is third, Shepard is fourth, Allison fifth, Elliott is sixth. In cars drop to the inside. The race cars are on the outside in the green and white colors of the Skoll team. Out in front with Harry Gant at the controls. Then the Wrangler car, the blue and yellow car of Dale Earnhardt, rests second on the field as they come into turn number 3 and prepare to resume this great Saturday racing classic at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Hill Overton.
Lights are out on the beautiful Ford Mustang pace, the Automobile, and he's going to pull it down off the banking of turn number 4. You can hear the roar come up through the field as they go through the gearbox now, but they're still holding it back. Harry Gant pacing that beautiful green and white number 28 on the point, but he's getting set to put his pedal to the metal, and they're off.
As they come back to the line, Harry Gant cuts down in front of a lap car. That is the Butch Lindley car. He easily goes into the first turn with a lead of about 5 car lengths.
3 cars glued together in turn 1. Earnhardt, Bonnet, Shepard. Here's Bobby Allison and Bill Elliott. They thicken up to about a 6-car draft. And remember now, Elliott is back there in the 6th position. Riding 7th is Joe Ruttman.
Chip Lane got trapped on pit road. He is now back on the track. The action's at turn 3.
3 Pontiacs, and Knowles, another Pontiac in the top 5. Of course, it's still the car driven by Harry Gant in front. Then Earnhardt, Bonnet, Morgan Shepard, Bobby Allison, and Bill Elliott in that order down the front straightaway.
Elliott is in 6th. Joe Ruttman has now moved to 7th. Going into 8th is Jack Ingram.
In ninth would be Tommy Ellis's automobile, and we got a battle in turn 2 for the lead. Earnhardt gets the nose out front again on the inside. Gant goes to the outside. It's a dead heat midway down the backstretch.
Slam bank style. Now they go 3 wide into turn 3 as Bonnet drops down in the low groove, and he fronts everyone going into 3. He moves Earnhardt up half a lane width in 3. It's still Bonnet on the point. Then Earnhardt dropping back to 4th spot. Now is Gant moving into 3rd is Shepard. Riding 5th is Bobby Allison.
The maroon, white, and gold colors of Neil Bonnet are back in front, and it's wild dirt track style racing. Incidentally, it was a black flag for Kurt Bryant. He jumped the start, and NASCAR is really bearing down about jumping the start here today. Bonnet in front in turn 2.
They're power sliding those automobiles through the 2nd corner down the backstretch. It's Shepard down the inside of Earnhardt. Earnhardt to the outside. He'll take 2nd. Shepard 3rd. Allison 4th.
Bonnet playing the role of the rabbit now as he enters turn number 3 with a car and a half. And whoa, touching sheet metal there were Dale Earnhardt and Morgan Shepard off of 3, but it's still Bonnet your leader.
And And in second, it is Earnhardt. In third is Shepard. Fourth is Gant. Fifth is Allison. Sixth is Elliott. Seventh, about 3 car lengths back, is Rutman. And right on his tail is Jack Ingram in eighth.
Jack Ingram is in the 8th spot. Tommy Ellis, the reigning late model sportsman national champion from Richmond, Virginia, is in the 9th position. Pete Silva has dropped to the 10th spot, and riding in 7th would be the car number 31 of Mike Riley.
But Earnhardt is reeling Bonnet in turn number 3. Earnhardt now is there. He's right up on the back deck lid of Neil Bonnet off of turn 4, riding third, and 6 cars back is Morgan Shepherd.
Coming around, they complete 34 laps this time. Battle is all up in front, getting overlapped down the main straightaway. Pete Bryant of Thomasville, North Carolina, a little off the pace. Davey Allison is running back in the 12th position now. Davey Allison in 12th. In front, Earnhardt taking a wide, high line as he comes out of turns 1 and 2. Car number 52. Running slowly onto pit road is that Mitchell Clark car out of Charlotte, North Carolina. Back to turn number 3. It is Bonnet's race for the moment, but here comes the Wrangler down the inside, the tough customer. Earnhardt trying to work his way in. The Robert G. car does not get through that time. And so into the second spot, it is still Earnhardt with Shepard in third.
Riding in 4th is Bobby Allison. Gant has been drop kicked all the way back to 5th in turn number 1. It's at the south end of the speedway that Bill Elliott puts a move on the Harry Gant Gold Bandit automobile. Now, Harry probably could be playing the waiting game, but Elliott is really right in the thick of the draft.
35 laps are now complete in the Mello Yello 300 when they come by this time.
After all the noise and the thunder of a race, I look forward to some peace and quiet. And that means it's time for Copenhagen.
NASCAR driver Cale Yarborough.
As they come back to the stripe, it's going to be Neil Bonnet in car number 75. Leading him along, Dale Earnhardt rides in second and perched right in third. The Mello Yello entry of number 7, that's Morgan Shepherd as they go into the high banks of turn 1 and 2. It's still Neil Bonnet on the point. Dale Earnhardt looking low as they go down the backstretch and back about 4 car lengths to third place. It's Morgan Shepherd. Harrigan in 5th. Bobby Allison riding in 5th, rather, with Bill Elliott, and then it's going to be Joe Rutman as they come into turns 3 and 4. It's Dale Earnhardt making the move under Neil Bonnet. They get very close, come side by side, back down in the tri-oval. Earnhardt to the inside, Bonnet to the outside. At the stripe, it's Neil Bonnet again to lead lap number 36, and now it's going to be 3 wide for the front as Earnhardt, Bonnet with Morgan Shepherd looking underneath Neil Bonnet, now sliding up to try to take the second position away from car number 75 of Neil Bonnet down the backstretch. It's going to be Earnhardt, Bonnet, Morgan Shepherd with Gant moving up from 4th on the inside.
That on my resume?
Sensitive motion picture.
I've done some dumb things in my life. This is the dumbest.
About the loving, caring relationship between a man.
They come back into the tri-oval. It's still going to be Dale Earnhardt on the point. Neil Bonnet second, Harry Gant, Morgan Shepherd, Bill Elliott, Bobby Allison, and Joe Rutman. As the Grand National drivers assume supremacy here in the early going of the Mello Yello Late Model Sportsman 300. Dale Earnhardt on the point once again. Neil Bonnet continues to ride in second place as they seemingly reshuffle the deck just about every lap here at Charlotte. Now it's 3 wide into turn 3. Gant on the inside, Bonnet in the middle, Earnhardt up high. Bonnet and Earnhardt seemingly lean on each other a little bit as they come out of 3 and exit into turn 4 back to the tri-oval. Number 75 of Neil Bonnet still on the point. Earnhardt and Gant side by side for second.
Miller highlights.
An incredible assault on first place. 3 different drivers have all had a shot at it since last we left you, but right now back in front is Neil Bonnet with a 3 car length advantage going down the back straightaway in the 39th lap. Second spot belongs to Dale Earnhardt, and relegated to third is the Harry Gant automobile. Fourth is Shepherd, then fifth is the yellow and white car of Darrell Waltrip being driven by Bill Elliott today. Elliott in fifth, but here's the real story. Back in 7th is Joe Rutman. Car number 98 has come from the 22nd position, now runs for the front draft. He is running the tail end of the front draft. 7 cars together, all battling for position, and out of turn 2, it looks like Rutman's ready to move again. Bill Cannell.
He's putting a move on the car number 22 of Bobby Allison down the back straightaway. Looks like Rutman's using the draft to his advantage. Hill Overton.
7-car choo-choo train entering the mouth of turn number 3. Now they negotiate smoothly the banking of turn 4 with on the point Neil Bonnet. Then, of course, it's the car driven by Dale Earnhardt and Harry Gant.
7 lead changes thus far. Sammy Yard was on pit road briefly. He had a mechanical malfunction. We'll get the story from Chuck Young on that in a moment. Right now, the whole story is the battle up in front. 7 cars fighting for first place.
Dale Earnhardt's got Harry Gant right back up into the thick of it. Never count that Skull Bandit out. He's driving for Phil Parsons, and right now he's ready to put a move on Earnhardt down the back chute.
And he does it. He's right up on the back door, but can't make a move going into 3. But the man who's just made a move is Bill Elliott in that car 17. He's pulled up the 4th spot and now has about 8 cars between himself and the Harry Gant car off of turn 4. Then it's Allison, and of course the car driven by Joe Rubin and Morgan Shepherd, the top 7.
So Rutman is still on the move. He is to 6. Dropping to 7th is Morgan Shepherd. Then back in the 8th position is Ellis, and in the 9th position is Ingram. Running the 10th position is Tommy Houston. Those are the front 10 with better than 41 laps complete. The field rambles down the back straightaway. Neil Bonnet making a real run of it today in the Warner Hodgson car. Keeps that Raymock machine number 75 in front. But here comes Earnhardt back on the inside out of turn number 4. Reeling in the leader. It is Earnhardt. Having a tremendous day on what he considers his hometown track. Right there in second, going to turn 1.
It is still Dale Earnhardt glued to Neil Bonnet's rear bumper. Right behind him is Harry Gant. Earnhardt may try to duck to the inside. There's traffic. There's slow traffic. Out of turn number 2. Dale will not put the move on Bonnet. Gant now gains some time. Back in 3rd, and Bill Elliott is reeling him in down the back straightaway.
3 cars in front of your leader's lead trio has put a little separation between themselves and 4th spot. Now they negotiate around a slower car in turn number 4, where it's still Neil Bonnet with 2 cars over Dale Earnhardt. 1 car length farther back to the Skull car driven by Harry Gant.
Running 10th overall is Bosco Lowe. In 11th is Pete Silva. Then in 12th is Davey Allison. The 13th position belongs to John Anderson, with the 14th position currently in the hands of Randy Tissett, and the 5th spot belonging to car number 29, which is Satch Worley, as we look a little further back. Coming by to complete 44 laps. This time as Neil Bonnet gets himself about a 6-car length advantage going through turns number 3 and 4. They will complete 44 this time. Swapping positions now, back further. Here's Davey Allison on the move. Allison collecting a couple of spots. Allison is pulling up. He's getting around the number 1, and it is Davey Allison now running in front of Pete Silva. That will put him up into the 12th position. Field is in the back straightaway. 45 laps. This time by, the battle will be for second place at turn 3 as Harry Gant tries to close on Dale Earnhardt and just can't quite get through there. Some lap traffic as they exit turn number 4 with 46 laps complete. Bonnet is in front. Earnhardt 2nd. Gant 3rd. Elliott 4th. Bobby Allison 5th. Rutland 6th. Morgan Shepherd is 7th. And there's a little separation on those cars now. The 8th position goes to the number 12 car of Ellis. And then right behind him, it is Jack Ingram. And moving up on the move all the time is Davey Allison. He's into 11th spot.
Davey Allison just passing me in turns 1 and 2. Dale Earnhardt has led 18 laps. Neil Bonnet has led 15 laps. 45 laps are on the board, and these leaders are in really heavy traffic as they move down the back straightaway. They come out of 3 and 4, and they shoot down the main straightaway at over 160 miles per hour. As still that leader remains Neil Bonnet. They've swapped the lead a lot. Right now they're playing a bit of a waiting game. None of the leaders have taken an opportunity to come onto pit road. A correction on that. On the second caution, a few of them dropped in. On the other hand, the Bonnet car stayed right out there and hung on to it. Ingram made a quick move under the first caution flag, running to it to pull himself up to 3rd. He has been falling back some. 47 laps now complete. And the leaders find themselves in very heavy traffic as they exit turn 4. Sammy Yard. Let's get a report from Chuck Young. What happened to Sammy Yard's car, Chuck?
Just a moment ago, Ken, Sammy punched a hole in the right rear tire of that Thomas Country Ham car. Had to come in. The tire was flat, but shows a good job on his driving part. He brought it in, got a new tire, and has come back out. Also in a few moments ago for gas was Butch Lindley. Now, several teams have thrown me a curve. The Wrangler pits say that Dale can go about 64, 65 laps before after pitting. I just talked to Bob Rahilly from the Hodgson Raymock team. He said Neil Bonnet can go 80. I don't believe that's the case, but we'll have to wait and see. I'm getting the word right now on the Dale Jarrett car. And Ned, what's happened to Dale?
Chuck, they have a transmission leak. They think it's the rear seal that's leaking. It was a brand new transmission when they started the race, but sometimes that doesn't mean that you don't have problems. So they're going to see if they can repair it. He's up there in 6th place race in the Budweiser point standings and would like to gain all the points he can.
Okay, thank you, Ned. He's fired the car, and the pit car is getting ready to go back out with Dale Jarrett. Back to the tower.
As the field rambles down the back straightaway, Harry Gant is overtaking second place. A lap car in front of him. He has to drop to the inside as he comes out of 4. The Skull Bandit trapped for just a moment on Sammy Ard's 00. As they're going to 1, Gant is trying to move around Ard to put him a lap down.
Ard is definitely holding Gant back because he's trying to reel in the number 1 position. Neil Bonnet is stroking away, and Gant's not going to have it because he's got a fast machine out of turn number 2. Now Earnhardt and Elliott try to work slow traffic midway down the backstretch.
And they have let that car get away just a little bit now. Neil Bonnet enjoying almost a half a straightaway lead, but now, of course, Harry Gant is trying to close up and gain some ground. He pulls it down off of turn 4 and is in the hunt, riding second.
Elliott on the move. Bill Elliott up the outside. It is Elliott fighting his way through. And he is going to take Bill Elliott. A beautiful maneuver is going to bring Elliott up another spot into 3rd position as he went around on the outside at the start-finish line, the car of Dale Earnhardt. So now Bill Elliott looks like he's ready to attack. He's about ready to overlap Sammy Ard in the back straightaway. A report from the garage area. Here's Pat Patterson.
Standing by in the garage right now, I'm with Chip Lane Jr., pilot of the car number 37 out of Kernersville, North Carolina. Chip, you had a problem out there early on in the race. Can you tell me about it?
Well, we had a car that blew up right in front of us, and we just about got by, and another car hit me from behind and got me down into the inside wall, and I think it hit something in the front end and just couldn't hardly drive the car.
You tried to get the car back out on the track, but to no avail.
Yeah, we tried. We got some sponsor help from Bruce Hayes, Hayes Jewelers, and Richard Childress, so we wanted to run for them.
Okay, unscheduled stop on car number 15. Earnhardt is in. Dale Earnhardt makes an unscheduled stop. Here's Chuck Young.
Here in the Wrangler pits, the left side has gone up. It appears we'll get the rear. He's going to kill the engine. He's killed the engine. Now he's refired the car. They changed a left rear tire, I believe. I'm going to try to get the word as we are in the pits. A little bit of confusion as it was unscheduled. A left rear tire apparently is punctured on the Wrangler car, but he's out now. Back to the tower.
We'll have the story from Chuck Young as to exactly what's happened. It's going to put Earnhardt in a have-to-make-up position. He's already been lapped by the leader. That is Neil Bonnet. He has been lapped by Harry Gant, the 2nd-place car, and he has been lapped by Bill Elliott, the 3rd-place car. Bobby Allison, who is in 4th, is about to, or is trying to lap Earnhardt, but now Earnhardt, as they exit turn 4, is back to full speed, and Allison has to settle in about a car length behind him. Bobby Allison is now the 4th-place machine, and Rutland from 22nd position is up to 5th spot as they go to turn 1.
Well, Rutland's been working all afternoon down in the 1st and 2nd corner to try to get around some of these lead cars, and he's done a marvelous job of coming way back into the pack. A costly move for Dale Earnhardt. He's trying to stay no further behind than the Gant car. He's a lap plus down, and Bill Elliott has got his arms full as he battles in front of Hill Overton.
Here he is midway through turn 3 and 4 at this point, trying to get around Dale Earnhardt and put him a lap down behind himself, as Dale's already a lap down behind his lead automobile.
Morgan Shepherd is on pit road. Here's Chuck Young.
Apparently on Dale Earnhardt's cars were heading for Morgan Shepherd was. He touched sheet metal with somebody because there's white paint all over the tire, and when he did that, it cut that left rear tire, so that was the problem with the Wrangler machine. Now, here's Morgan Shepherd, your pole sitter in. The Mello Yello machine is being pushed backward as the motor is dead. We'll get a report and get back to you, Ken.
There is a battle for 9th place between Jack Ingram and Davey Allison. Jack Ingram in that beautiful copper and silver. Number 11 is being challenged by Davey Allison for 9th place around the racetrack, and we'll be following that story when we come back after this 2-minute break for your local stations.
"55 laps complete here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. We'll rejoin the Performance Racing Network in just a moment. John Moose, please call Bob Kelly in the press box. John Moose, please call Bob Kelly in the press box. Mike Hill, you need to call the switchboard. If Mike Hill would be so kind as to call the switchboard, please. We want to remind all the fans, immediately after the Mello Yello 300 today, we will have Grand National practice for all of the drivers who will be participating in tomorrow's World 600. That'll be coming up today, right after the Mello Yello 300 Victory Lane celebrations. Down the backstretch, it's still going to be Neil Bonnet in car number 75. That National Engineering Pontiac continues to lead the way, about 15 car lengths behind. Harry Gant maneuvers into turn 3. Then back to 3rd place, it's going to be Bill Elliott driving a Darrell Waltrip prepared machine, sponsored by Aladdin. fourth place, NASCAR Currents points leader of the Winston Cup Tour, Bobby Allison, and then Joe Ruttman, originally out of Upland, California, now living here in North Carolina, races in the 5th spot. And that's the way they stand as they come by the main grandstands and once again zoom off into turns 1 and 2. Neil Bonnet still on the point in today's Mello Yello 300. Bonnet's National Engineering Pontiac has looked awfully strong from the very outset today as he quickly grabbed the lead in the duel with Dale Earnhardt at the start of the race and has continued to be upper at the front all day long here so far in the first quarter of the Mello Yello 300. Harry Gantha has been running a very consistent second. Car number 15, Dale Earnhardt, is a lap down and trying to regain that currently on your leaders of Neil Bonnet and Harry Gant. Once again, Dale Earnhardt is a lap down. Gant running extremely high as he goes into turns 3 and 4, but Jack Ingram said that's why Harry gets around the speedway so high. Goes into the turns high, comes out low, and he gets an extra little kick each time around. We'll now rejoin the Performance Racing Network with Ken Squire and Bill Cannell.
It's all yours.
The best beer for the best time of the day, Miller High Life.
I pilot my own plane, and my co-pilot is a little round can of Copenhagen.
NASCAR driver Cale Yarborough talks about how much he enjoys Copenhagen moist tobacco.
After a race, I get in my plane and I head toward home and put the day behind me, all alone except for my Copenhagen. Copenhagen gives me real tobacco pleasure without lighting up, because Copenhagen satisfies. I fly along, and I'm really at peace.
Share the Copenhagen experience. Go smokeless with Copenhagen moist tobacco. Copenhagen satisfies.
With 60 laps complete, Davey Allison has moved into 9th position. Davey Allison has picked up 9th position, and dropping back into the 10th position is the number 11. And that means that Jack Ingram must be having a problem because he continues to fall back after pulling up to 3rd. Bad day for Jack Ingram, although he could turn that around. Here's Pete Silva in car number 1 in the pits, and the major retiree at this point seems to be Morgan Shepherd. His car has gone back to the garage area. First, let's get a report as to what happened to Morgan. Here's Chuck Young.
Ken, just a moment ago when Morgan passed by me, I asked him what happened. They broke a right rear shock mount. Holds up the shock absorber on the right rear side, and that's all for the day for Morgan Shepherd. Now, maybe we'll get a word in just a few moments with Pat Patterson from Morgan Shepherd's team, but that KOs Morgan right now. Now, I'm standing in Jack Ingram's Budweiser pit, also just down from the Hodgson-Raymock pit. We're watching to see who will pit next. Jack, even though he's having problems handling, that's because the tires are wearing down. We're getting near scheduled pit stop time, and we'll bring them to you as soon as they happen.
62 laps are now complete. The story is up in front. Harry Gant is making a move on Neil Bonnet coming out of 4. Harry Gant is down the inside. Gant challenges, brings the green and white Skull Bandit up inside of the Werner Hodgson maroon white and gold machine as they fly down the main straightaway and to Bill Cannell at turn 1.
And traffic looked like it was going to play a major factor and did not. Gant shuffled it back in, threaded the needle, got back in front of the Neil Bonnet car just in time at turn number 1. Now Gant is pulled away by a car lift midway down the back straightaway.
But Bonnet is coming right back. He goes right back up on the rear bumper of the Gant car, but now they separate by about a car length. Now 2 car lengths in turn number 3. Taking the high groove around 4 traffic. Harry Gant and Neil Bonnet ride 1-2 off the high banking of turn 4.
Coming by, here's your leader. It is Gant, right on the rear bumper. It is Neil Bonnet. Then the 3rd spot is held by Elliott's car, and in 4th is Bobby Allison. In 5th is the Ruttman car. Joe Ruttman holding on to the 5th position. In the 6th position and coming up all the way from the last row is Tommy Houston. He started in 41st position. Tommy Houston now runs in 6th.
What an excellent run for Tommy Houston. He's been handling well down in turns 1 and 2 all afternoon. I've noticed Bill Elliott coming through the 1st and 2nd quarter. His tires must be wearing thin, Ken, because he's getting mighty high.
There's another problem out here, apparently on Davey Allison's car. He's falling back with Morgan Shepherd retiring, switches the positions around, and it's going to be Ingram climbing up into the 7th position. David Allison falling to the 8th position. Bosco Lowe is in 9th, and 10th overall in this Mello Yello 400 is Glenn Jarrett. Glenn Jarrett is now officially listed as the 10th position. And I'll tell you, the 11 and 23 story continues to go back and forth between Jack Ingram and Davey Allison. Gant is in. Leader pitting, or one of the leaders, as more popularly put it. He is battled with Neil Bonnet, who now inherits first place. Let's go to Chuck Young as the leader. Harry Gant, the Skull Bandits on pit road.
Skull Bandit quickly comes in as the Skull Bandit crew goes to the right side. They bring it up. They will take on, it looks like, both right side tires. Now remember, in sportsman racing, as Banjo Matthews pointed out earlier in the broadcast, they can only use one air wrench. So the crew member comes across, loosens both tires. The crew member slaps both of them on, and then he comes back to tighten them up. The car has been, the rear has been on. Now he's tightening the front. The jack is down. The Skull Bandit is away. I didn't have a time. Now, I am standing by as Harry Gant runs by me. I'm standing by in Bill Elliott's crew as we're watching to see if Eddie Jones will bring in the Darrell Waltrip on car number 17 that Bill Elliott is driving, and we'll bring it to you when he does.
Bosco Lowe is on pit road. 11th car is Johnny Anderson on the 60-lap rundown, with the 12th position belonging to Randy Tissett, and in the 13th position is Pete Silva. And now that number 6 car, which has come all the way from the rear. Tommy Houston in the Mason Day Oldsmobile is making his pit stop. Back with more action of the Mello Yello 300 in a moment. This is the Performance Racing Network.
Pam Henderson, we need you to meet your party at the main gate, please. Pam Henderson, would you please get in touch with your group at the main gate? We need to get the attention of Dennis Locker. Dennis Locker, you need to report to the highway patrol bus at the main gate. This is very important. Dennis Locker. We've got a problem on car number 42. He slides it backwards down into the wall in front of the main grandstands, spins it around at the exit of pit road, and then drives it into the infield grass area. This car number 42, spinning it out, that's Alan Powell from Hudson, North Carolina, in the West Racing Pontiac, and he lost control of it, spun it around, hit the outside retaining wall along the tail end of the tri-oval, spun out of harm's way into the infield grass. Alan Powell, car number 42, comes to rest at the infield grass, and once again that'll bring out the caution flag here at the Mello Yello 300 today as Alan Powell spins it out.
Story from Bill Cannell.
It's Alan Powell from Hudson, North Carolina, regular up at the Hickory Speedway. Powell coming out of the tri-oval, slammed into the wall, trying to scoot into turn number 1. Ricocheted down to the inside and rests right across from us here in turn number 1 on the grass. Alan Powell still inside the automobile after slamming into the wall, coming out of the double dog leg in the front straightaway. The car number 42, the safety vehicles and NASCAR officials on their way. The pace car coming out to pick up the field as they come across for the 72nd tour, and a lot of action on pit row. Ken Squire.
Alan Powell won one of the Mello Yello Invitational races at the Asheville Motor Speedway in Asheville, North Carolina back on May 6th, and tagged just after coming across the start-finish line, ground the right side of the car down for a couple of hundred, maybe 300 feet, and now rests just the other side of the Union 76 ball at the bottom of turn number 1, as Bill Cannell reported. Pit road is where it's happening. All the leaders are taking this opportunity to come in, and let's go back to Chuck Young.
Well, Ken, one of the guys that got a super break by this was Bill Elliott driving Darrell.
Seems to be something to miss on Harry Gant's automobile as this field gets ready to go, Banjo.
Yeah, it appears like he's falling back, and he should be just barely in front of Neil Bonnet unless NASCAR moved him back.
Well, they are just ready to turn them loose. They have 76 laps complete. They'll come around to complete 77 as they take the green. And we show up in front Neil Bonnet. Then in that second spot, it is Jack Ingram. And in third is the 98 of Joe Ruttman as they bunch them up coming down out of turn number 4 by Hill Overton.
They're grouped up very, very beautifully indeed off the banking of turn number 4. It's going to be Neil Bonnet punching the accelerator in front of Ingram. He does right now, and they're away once again.
As they come to the line, the brake puts number 17, Elliott, working on the outside, trying to hold Earnhardt a lap down. Earnhardt trying to fight his way back in this thing. As you recall, he had trouble earlier and had to pit on an unscheduled stop. They're into turn 2.
We got a car almost in the wall at turn number 2. That's car number 70. The car normally driven by Janie McDuffie, but Bosco Rowe is in the automobile this afternoon. Watch them shuffle and dice as they spread out down the back chute.
And flat-foot their way through turns 3 and 4, but Bonnet right down at the bottom off of turn number 4 leads the pack. He has a car sandwiched in between himself and Ingram as they take it down the double dog leg.
Looks like Tommy Ellis has blown an engine down the backstretch. Very slow out of turn 4.
Tommy Ellis coming now down around turns 3 and 4, and a lot of smoke coming out of Ellis's automobile. Up in front, the story continues to be that number 75.
Whoa, trouble, turn number 4, turn number 1. It is Sammy Ard. He plowed into the back of another automobile, triggering a chain reaction. We'll come back with an update in a moment.
At least 5 cars are involved, 6, still another car spinning. Yellow is definitely out. Here the field comes racing back to the line, and as they come to the stripe, trying to get a lap back is car number 6, and doing so is Tommy Houston. Houston was able to stay out in front of car number 75, Neil Bonnet, and he took a lap back, and right in there also was Earnhardt trying to take a lap back. Did Earnhardt get his lap back?
No, I don't think so. Well, yes, maybe he did. Everything happens so fast sitting up there in this tire. I'm so used to watching in the pits. There's too many things to watch at one time, but that was certainly a bad accident over there, and there was a lot of cars spinning.
At least 5, perhaps 7 cars are involved, and here's the story from Bill Cannell.
Well, it all triggered coming out of turn number 1. Sammy Ard was trying to make up some ground. He ran into the rear end of a slower car, that being Chip Lane's automobile, plowing into the trunk compartment. Ard's car is severely damaged. It's just midway down the back straightaway, trying to get it around into the pits. Now, Lane's car, then some of the other trailing traffic, that of number 24, Larry Hoopaugh got through it safely in the car number 50. The 52 of Mitchell Clark, he got on the binders. Howard Rose, they were all spinning wildly, and a good thing the leaders were not trailing up on them, or we'd have really had some cars scattering.
80 laps complete when they come by this time, and it has now been reported by NASCAR that both Tommy Houston and Dale Earnhardt made up their laps. Houston and Earnhardt were able to stay in front of Bonnet. There wasn't much question about the Houston car in front of Neil Bonnet. The question was, it looked like a dead heat as they came across, but Dale Earnhardt got his lap back. They are reporting he got it back by 3 inches. 89 laps complete when they come by this time and take the green. It is number 75, the Warner Hodgson colors, running in first. Neil Bonnet at the controls. Jack Ingram is back there. The Iron Man has come into second place. Upland, California's Joe Ruttman maintaining third, and fourth, the leader of the Alabama gang. In the Miller High Life car, it is Bobby Allison, fourth overall. Fifth place as they come down is car number 17, coming to the line. Bill Elliott in the car that Darrell Waltrip usually drives is fifth as the green flag is unfurled. They are back to the line. In sixth spot is Davey Allison. Seventh is Glenn Jarrett. In the eighth spot, it is Dale Earnhardt, and in ninth, Tommy Houston.
Tommy Houston now going to hook on to what he's called his brother-in-law's rear bumper. Gant is going to try to unlap himself in turn number 2. Bonnet downstairs, Gant to the outside. Here's Ingram, and Joe Ruttman now battles for third. He's going to take him on the backstretch.
They're door-to-door headed toward turn number 3. Meanwhile, your leader is Neil Bonnet with a lap car of Harry Gant sandwiched in between there and the Ruttman car. Now here comes Bill Elliott in car number 17 as he puts the yellow and white automobile 17 inside of Ingram.
Jack Ingram falling to fourth position. Jack Ingram not falling to fourth. He's right back there side by side of Elliott to turn 1.
Elliott to the inside. He gets the point. Ingram goes to the outside, and look at the father and son battle. Bobby Allison and Davey Allison. They're all nailed right there together down the back chute.
This is a moment.
Harry Gant now has gotten himself unlapped and has moved in front of Neil Bonnet's candy apple red, white, and gold number 75. The green and white gold colors now with almost a lap down, but he's back in that lead lap. Meanwhile, your leader Bonnet, then Ruttman, and Bill Elliott.
Harry Gant out in front of the field, making up his lap. To the inside, Bill Elliott goes after Ruttman. Bill Elliott down the inside, and he's going for third.
They touch sheet metal in turn number 1. Elliott brushes his way by. He takes over the number 3 spot. Ruttman is dropped back to the 4th position. 5th is Bobby Allison. 6th is his son, Davey Allison. 7th is Jack Ingram. 8th is Dale Earnhardt. Here comes Tommy Houston and Glenn Jarrett.
The story is there between the Allisons. You're seeing Bobby and Davey Allison going bumper to bumper out of turn 4 and to the line. And for the first time in Super Speedway occasions, both Allisons in the lead lap. David Allison, the son of Bobby Allison, trying to run his father down as they go to turn 1.
Bill Elliott's going for the lead. Elliott's down on the inside, bought it to the outside, and Bill Elliott will lead for the first time today as they move down the back chute. Should a caution come out, Gant will be right back into the hunt.
The man they call Huckleberry Ben from Dawsonville, Georgia, puts 3 cars between himself and that driven by Neil Bonnet in turn number 3 as he throws it up about 8 car lengths behind Harry Gant, who wants to stay in that lead lap. Now opening up a separation of 5 cars off of 4.
Old Huckleberry has hounded the front 3, and he now has a lead of 4 car lengths. And here comes Bobby Allison after Joe Ruttman. David Allison right behind him in turn 1.
Bobby Allison pushes Joe Ruttman up into the 3-story high wall down to number 1, out of turn number 2. Allison may put a move on Ruttman down on the inside of turn number 2, midway down the back chute.
Maybe driving the race of his life right now is young Davey Allison as he stealths that accelerator, hit it into turn 3, takes a low groove, and is right up on the back door there of Ruttman, but can't quite do it, has to fall back in a tight line in turn number 4, sweeps it up toward the wall and down the double dogleg.
As they come by, it is car number 17, Elliott first, Bonnet second, Ruttman third, then Bobby Allison in 4th, David Allison is 5th, and here comes Earnhardt to the inside of David Allison.
Now in turn 1, Earnhardt drops downstairs. Davey will be dropped back behind Earnhardt. Now he's going to try to move back. Now to the inside of turn number 2. Behind Davey Allison comes Jack Ingram, followed by Tommy Houston, Glenn Jarrett, and we got to give a call to Glenn Jarrett for a great run this afternoon.
Still very much in it as we move toward the halfway point. 95 laps complete this time by. 5 laps to the cross flags, indicating halfway to the drivers. As they come by, it is Harry Gant in front of Bill Elliott. He's made up his lap, so he's running 10th overall in the race on the tail end of the lead lap. We've had 12 lead changes among 5 drivers. Neil Bonnet has led for 60 laps thus far.
The good battle is Bosco Lowe is battling with Satch Worley's automobile out of turn 2. They've been shuffling all afternoon. Here comes Bobby Allison down the backstretch on Joe Ruttman.
And he puts a move on him and takes over a spot going into turn 3. So he's moved into 3rd spot now. Behind the car driven by Bill Elliott and Neil Bonnet, Bobby Allison, Joe Ruttman in that order.
At this moment, with 96 laps complete, Bill Elliott has everybody covered as he goes to turn number 1. He is leading by 9 car lengths in the yellow and white red numeraled automobile. Second is Bonnet. Then in 3rd is Bobby Allison, and here comes Earnhardt in 2.
Earnhardt is almost downstairs on the apron, literally almost touches the grass side by side down the backstretch on Ruttman.
The flag race headed into turn 3, and Earnhardt fronts him as he stops his accelerator to the foreboard and takes over a spot from Joe Ruttman in turn number 3, and now turn 4. Here he comes, trying to move up on the Neil Bonnet, Bobby Allison duo.
Earnhardt takes over 4th. Allison is challenging Bonnet for 2nd spot. They are side by side, and here comes Earnhardt to make it 3 wide into turn 1.
3 wide it is. Earnhardt touches the rear bumper of Allison's automobile. Bonnet says, I'm going to wait, and Dale ducks way down, tries to thread the needle. Here's Ruttman in the thicket. Now Davey Allison makes it 5 cars in the backstretch.
A dramatic dash by Dale Earnhardt, who was a lap down just a few laps ago, is now fighting for 2nd spot, and it looks like he's going to take it over from Bobby Allison midway through turns 3 and 4. He seesaws just a little bit and now fronts him coming off of turn 4 to Allison, bumped back to 3rd spot, then Neil Bonnet 4th.
98 laps complete as they go into turn number 1 with Elliott well in front. The battle is for 2nd place.
The 2nd spot battle, Dale Earnhardt, Davey Allison, Bobby Allison, Joe Ruttman, Neil Bonnet, they're all there. 5 cars. Glenn Jarrett is hooked up onto the bumper of Tommy Houston's automobile. Jack Ingram's in that.
Oh, we got a car blowing. Number 50. Rupes comes across the line. Hoopah, the twice international champion, has brought out the yellow flag. What a break for Harry Gant. This will put Gant all the way around and back into the lead lap. We have another car in some oil that has been spilled in the start-finish line, crashing into car number 50.
Harry Lee Hill is the other car involved. He came skittering off into the grass down towards turn 1. He crashes into the front end of Larry Hoopah's automobile, but he refires and is able to move out. Ken Squire.
That was not a serious incident when the car ran into Hoopah's automobile. Larry Hoopah's car blowing an engine, spinning right at the start-finish line, erupting smoke, and lands on the asphalt drive that is the entrance into the road course here. It is about 350, 400 feet down from the start-finish line is where the Marion Cox red-white numeral car number 50 now rests. A lot of folks remember that car as a tremendous atomic-like fireball at Daytona back in 1979. a terrible crash on that car when Joe Poisson was in it, totally destroyed it. And the preacher, Marion Cox, has rebuilt and restructured his team, but it will not be a good day for Larry Hoopaw or Marion Cox. Larry Hoopaw, the twice International Sedan Series champion. Is that one of your banjo cars out there, Mr. Matthews?
No, I think that car was originally constructed by Holman and Moody, and
that's an old-timer.
Well, yeah, but you know, Holman and Moody were in business up until just recently, and what was really enjoyable was watching Earnhardt come from his restart position all the way up to second, and Bill Elliott kind of got a pretty good lead there, and it's really going to be interesting as this thing gets on further.
Harry Lee Hill has just brought his car back onto pit road. We are at halfway. 100 laps have been completed. There are 100 to go. A rundown in a moment.
From the oval at Daytona to the tracks out by the bay.
Want to remind you, fans, you can get a fine souvenir. The 1983 Winston Driver's Profile book is now available to all fans. 21 years old and older, absolutely free when you purchase 2 packs of Winstons. This book is packed with pictures and information that you'll want to have on your favorite Winston Cup stars. And be sure to stop by the concession stand today, buy 2 packs of Winstons, and get your free 1983 Winston Cup Driver's Profile book. Chris Moore, you need to call your father-in-law, Chris Moore. If you're here, you need to get in touch with your father-in-law. Okay, Chris Moore. We're under caution again here today at Charlotte after Larry Hoopaw apparently let his engine go well up into the dogleg coming out of turn 4. His engine expired. It caused minor problems here along the front stretch, but the speedy drive's been put down again, and we should be getting back to green flag racing here very shortly.
Is expected to break all records tomorrow, the famed $500,000 World 600 with Ford running in the front 3 positions. Ladies and gentlemen, the field is coming down out of turn number 4, and the Mello Yello 300 is back underway with the leader, Bill Elliott, second Earnhardt. As they fight their way down, it is Jarrett, number 24, maintaining 3rd.
Tommy Houston is right behind Glenn Jarrett. Then comes the Iron Man, Jack Ingram, riding in the 5th spot. In 6th would be Joe Ruttman. 7th would be Bobby Allison. 8th is the Neil Bonnet automobile. Back in 9th would be Davey Allison, and 10th would be the Silva car.
Bill Elliott showing a 3-car length advantage over Dale Earnhardt in turn 3 and making his first showing on the board this afternoon. Glenn Jarrett in the car number 24 there in turn 4. Then in 4th spot, Tommy Houston. 5th, Jack Ingram.
There have been 5 caution periods now for 38 laps. 5 for 38. And what a magnificent job Glenn Jarrett is doing. This is his best day. Battle for the lead at turn 1.
Earnhardt goes downstairs. He loves to run on the bottom of this racetrack. Down at 1 and 2. Bill Elliott fights him off on the outside. Up high. Out of the number 2 corner. Down the back straightaway. It's a dead heat. Midway point.
Mustachioed Mooresville, North Carolina resident Dale Earnhardt's been bumped back to 2nd spot by that young man from Dawsonville, Georgia, Bill Elliott, who enjoys a car length advantage right at the bottom of turn number 4. Sweeps it up toward the wall. Back in 3rd, still Glenn Jarrett. 4th, Tommy Houston. 5th is Jack Ingram.
Ingram in that 6th. Ruttman is in 7th. Bobby Allison 8th. Then running in that 9th spot. Here comes Bonnet sweeping to the inside. Harry Gant back there fighting with Davey Allison.
Gant is trying to reel him in, too. He's back in that lead lap. Harry would like nothing finer than in the second half of this 300-mile journey to get right back up into the front thicket.
And Harry Gant's right at the tail end of that choo-choo train of about 8 automobiles going in through turns 3 and 4. A giant draft being established there, still out on the point, though. Bill Elliott as he takes them off turn number 4.
The track repaved in 1980, and everybody working very low here in the sportsman race, still at the bottom of the racetrack. Ingram falling back a bit now. The battle is right on the point. Bill Elliott in front. Dale Earnhardt in 2nd. Back on the 17-degree banking of turns 1 and 2.
And there's a real battle. About 14 cars hooked up back in the back as they go midway down the backstretch. Tommy Houston is on the move.
Houston trying to pick it up there as he's in 4th spot, looking low underneath the Glenn Jarrett car. Houston now moving up on the back dead lid, trying to pick up 3rd spot, can't do it. Off turn 4, he'll stay in 4th spot just in front of Joe Ruttman.
The Aladdin Industries car with Bill Elliott leading, and the Wrangler car in 2nd. And now Tommy Houston makes a move for 3rd spot on Jarrett going to the 1st turn.
Jarrett's on the outside, up high on the braking. Tommy Houston changes his mind, falls single file, but Joe Ruttman's not going to change his mind. Down to pick off Tommy Houston and go after Glenn Jarrett. Down that back straightaway, 5 cars battle for position.
Meanwhile, Gant is on the move. Gant is pulling up, and there is a big battle going on for the 4th position with 5 cars in it.
And they're at the base of turn number 4, and it's Joe Ruttman, Bobby Allison, Harry Gant, all those cars moving up, fighting for that 4th spot behind Glenn Jarrett.
110 laps complete. Elliott first, Earnhardt second, Jarrett third, Ruttman fourth, Bobby Allison in 5th, and up to 6th comes Harry Gant at the first turn.
Gant puts a move on the Allison automobile, showing smoke downstairs in the bottom. Now Allison goes to make it too wide, trying to move around Joe Ruttman down the back straightaway and move up on Glenn Jarrett.
Drag race down that back chute. Bobby Allison on the inside, Joe Ruttman on the outside, and right behind them is Harry Gant as they're moving up on Glenn Jarrett, who's in 3rd still over in the 4th turn. But meanwhile on the point remains Bill Elliott and Dale Earnhardt.
Mike Porter pits. Mike Porter pits and comes back on the track. The battle, 3rd spot, it is Jarrett. 4th spot, it is Ruttman, and all over his rear bumper is Bobby Allison.
Allison's giving him no room to run. They touch sheet metal in turn number 1. Allison and Ruttman dead heat midway through 1 and 2, and it's going to be Allison coming out on the point. Here comes Harry Gant. Gant moves to the downstairs, makes it another battle between he and Joe Ruttman midway down the chute.
Senior member of the Alabama gang pulling Harry Gant along with him as they battle inside of Ruttman. Ruttman drops out of the throttle, and here comes Neil Bonnet. Bonnet now getting inside of Ruttman as they encounter slower traffic in the turn number 4 area.
With 113 complete, Elliott first, Earnhardt second, Jarrett third, Bobby Allison fourth, Gant to 5th. It's even for 6th with Bonnet on the inside, Ruttman on the outside, and then back in 8th is Houston. In 9th position is Ingram, and in 10th is David Allison.
I cannot believe the run for Glenn Jarrett in a Bud Light Bullfrog Mid automobile. Best run ever.
And he's looking super strong down the back straightaway, but he has a lot of competition there in the form of the Bobby Allison Miller car. Allison fronts him in turn number 3. Takes Harry Gant along with him. The Skull Bandit car now pulling up inside of the Jarrett car off turn 4.
In 11th is Ronnie Silver. Ronnie Silver maintaining that 11th spot, and 12th is Randy Tissett. Harry Gant beginning to square off with Bobby Allison in the battle for 3rd spot, and up in front, Earnhardt just won't turn loose of Bill Elliott. He's turned him every which way but loose. Battle for 3rd spot at turn 2.
It's Allison down on the inside, Gant to the outside. He shuts the door on him down the backstretch. Look at Bonnet come up on Glenn Jarrett.
And he's making a move down to the mouth of turn number 3. Here he comes, stopping the accelerator, but Jarrett will have none of that. And he takes it in a little deeper, but now skids high, and now fighting back down low is Neil Bonnet, and he takes him in 4.
Jarrett falling back a bit. Jarrett falls back into the 6th position. It is back to 6 for car number 24. That beautiful little machine of Glenn Jarrett, that Thaxton Ford, what has been known as the Thaxton Ford, came out with Bud Light Bullfrog knit colors for today, and that car stays still in that top 10. 10 automobiles continuing to run for the lead, and Earnhardt trying to chase down Bill Elliott.
Burt Reynolds is Stroker Ace in a modest,
It's part of the wonderfulness of me.
meaningful,
I'm a Sunday school.
and his race car.
Gene Roop with Coca-Cola, come to the elevator, please. Gene Roop with Coca-Cola, come to the elevator, please. Gene Roop, you're needed at the elevator. As they head out of the backstretch down into turn 3 and 4, it's still Bill Elliott and the Darrell Walter prepared car number 17 with the Aladdin sponsorship on the side. Then Dale Earnhardt, who was down a lap earlier, he's back up in the field in Wrangler number 15. Harry Gant, who was also down 1 lap, he's back into the front. He rides in 3rd. Then it's going to be Bobby Allison, Neil Bonnet, Glenn Jarrett, Joe Ruttman, and Tommy Houston, with Jack Ingram and Davey Allison running in that order as they go into turns 1 and 2. It continues to be Bill Elliott on the point. He's going to be joined by Dale Earnhardt, and Harry Gant makes his move down the backstretch. It's Gant in the Skoll car coming up on the inside of Dale Earnhardt. Let's see who gives as they head into turn 3.
The tough customer himself, Dale Earnhardt. The young man originally out of Kannapolis is pinned on the outside of turn 4. And it is the Bandit. It is the Skull Bandit. Harry Gant in a 2nd spot. It's still the Aladdin Industries car. Bill Elliott stays in 1st. Now Gant in 2nd. Earnhardt in 3rd. The Miller High Life car with Bobby Allison in 4th. 117 laps complete as they exit turn 1.
Out of the number 2 corner, it is still Elliott, Gant, and Earnhardt. I'm wondering if Harry, it's amazing, a lap down, not 50 laps ago, he's made it up, 3 of them in. And in turn number 3, Gant looks like he's going to put a move on Elliott.
Winner of the 1982 Mello Yello 300 is making his move right now on Bill Elliott. Can't do it coming off of 4, but he'll set his sights on him down the front chute.
Harry Gant Gant become the first man to ever win this race 2 years in a row. He's going to the outside. He is up high, going to the turn number 1 with Elliott on the inside.
Normally, that's where they don't want to pass here in turn 1. They would want to pass on the inside, but Gant is going to do it. He was very squirrely, but passed him and took over the lead. It's Harry Gant down the back chute. Elliott second, Earnhardt third.
So here's the situation. Out in front now is Harry Gant in first. Bill Elliott is in second. Dale Earnhardt is in third. Bobby Allison is in fourth, with fifth spot going to Neil Bonnet. In the sixth position, Glenn Jarrett. In seventh is Joe Ruttman. In eighth is Tommy Houston. In ninth is Jack Ingram. And 10th is Davey Allison. We'll be back with more in just 60 seconds. This is the Performance Racing Network.
As they head into turns 1 and 2, once again, still Harry Gant on the point with Bill Elliott riding in second. Dale Earnhardt has dropped back to third. Fourth place is going to be Bobby Allison. Fifth is Neil Bonnet. And sixth place right now goes to Glenn Jarrett, followed by Joe Ruttman. It'll be Tommy Houston and then Davey Allison riding in the 10th position as they come out of turns 3 and 4 and head back toward the stripe. Once again, Harry Gant and that Skoal machine, originally penciled in to be Phil Parson behind the wheel there, continues to lead the Mello Yello 300 as Harry Gant seemingly, at least in this point of the race, has the strongest car, if not the very strongest car in the field today. And car number 28, sponsored by Skoal and being driven today, of course, by Harry Gant. On the point as they head down the backstretch, it's Gant, Elliott, Earnhardt, Allison, then about 35 cars back to Neil Bonnet, then Glenn Jarrett and Joe Ruttman.
For sixth position has Joe Ruttman, number 98, just going by. Number 24, Glenn Jarrett. The yellow and white colors of the Levi Garrett team just getting by. Jarrett going into turn number 1. The 24 car getting very high on the track. It looks like the handle may have fallen off that car, and it is Joe Ruttman picking up another spot. Ruttman is due to win soon. Meanwhile, there's a battle for second place at turn 3.
Bobby Allison just goes around the Dale Earnhardt car and takes over that second spot, but he slides a little high, and here comes Earnhardt back on the move down the double dogleg.
That is a battle for third. It is Gant out in front. It is Elliott in second, and the dogfight stays there as they whoop the fenders a little going into turn 1.
Here's Allison trying to pass Earnhardt on the outside. Dale stays right with him, glued in. Now Allison gets to strength, shows his strong arm. He will take over the number 3 spot, drop kicking Earnhardt back to 4th. Bonnet runs 5th down the backstretch.
In that 6th position is Joe Ruttman. In 7th is Jarrett. Running 8th is Houston. 9th is Ingram. 10th is Davey Allison. The leaders at turn 3 and 4.
And they're pulling it off the high bank and enjoying a good lead right now as that car driven by Bill Elliott, number 17, across the stripe.
122 laps are now completed, the 200 to be run today, and Harry Gant is drawing away from the field. Incredible performance, Banjo Matthews, by Harry Gant today. He was a lap down, he's made it up, and now he's pulled himself right back to the front of the field.
That's right, he's really worked his way up there, and Bill Elliott led for 25 laps there, and one time he got nearly in the wall between 1 and 2, and if that would have been a sportsman driver, I'd say he'd had an accident, but Bill really took his training in Grand National Racing, and competing with these other Grand National drivers is really something for him.
So Harry Gant pulls away, now enjoys the biggest lead anyone has had today in this race with 123 laps complete. We'll check the interval for you on the Harry Gant automobile. He's showing just about 2 seconds of an advantage over Bill Elliott in that yellow red numeral with some white piping on it car that usually is at the beck and call of Darrell Waltrip. Not so today. He's resting, making sure he's ready. As you know, he lies 7th in the Winston Cup national standings to continue his attack to win a 3rd straight national championship in this World 600 tomorrow. One of the great racing classics for $500,000 tomorrow here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. We hope you'll join us for all the action. That starts at noon Eastern Time here on the Performance Racing Network. Ken Squire hoping you'll enjoy the race tomorrow. Hopefully you'll be here in Charlotte to see it. If not, that you will be with us on the radio network.
Ken, there's a real battle for 7th. Glenn Jarrett and Tommy Houston just came through turns 1 and 2 a moment ago, side by side, and Glenn Jarrett picked him off.
We have something just fall off a car coming out of turn number 4. It went about 25 or 30 feet in the air, and it may be just a piece of plastic, but it's lying down on the inside of the track. I don't believe it's going to bring out a caution, but it was right by you, Hill, over
Yes, Ken, it looks like the top of an air cleaner. The air cleaner casing is exactly what it appears to be. It's lying right down, almost hitting at that time with one of the automobiles down on the bottom groove.
That was Pete Silva.
It's just at the exit of turn number 4, and it looks to me like they definitely need to throw a caution and remove it.
Caution is out. Caution is out.
Yellow flag coming out as we do have debris up here in turn number 4. It's a strange optical, and somebody in second, and Gant, after the pit stops, was back to third. Now Gant is trying for second in the first turn. Bill Cannell.
It sounded like everybody had a sledgehammer pounding away on sheet metal because they were crunching some down at turn number 1, out of turn number 2. Harry Gant side by side down the backstretch with Glenn Jarrett. Here comes Earnhardt and Ruttman.
So wild land rush down that back straightaway, and Gant takes over the lead, and he takes Earnhardt along with him, and Ruttman comes down inside underneath the Jarrett car. Here comes Bill Elliott, Neil Bonnet. So the rush is on off turn 4.
14 lead changes thus far. The record for this race, 30 lead changes, 1979. Gant back in front. You call it 15 lead changes now. And here comes Earnhardt in that second spot. Ruttman in third. Don't discount Joe Ruttman. He plays it very heady. He's being challenged, however, by Bill Elliott.
Out of turn 2, Elliott to the inside of Ruttman. He'll get him. Elliott takes over third, Ruttman fourth. Here comes Neil Bonnet.
Bonnet on the charge, tries to get inside of Ruttman, diving into turn 3, takes the low groove and fronts Ruttman. On the point, it's Harry Ganton diving down inside of him with the car driven by Earnhardt. They pull it off 4.
Back they come with 133 laps complete. The battle is in front. They lap Pete Silva, they being Harry Gant, and Dale Earnhardt going to the first turn. That third spot remains in the hands of Bill Elliott, but only momentarily as Neil Bonnet is ready to counterattack as he's moving back through the field.
Bonnet tries to drop to the inside. Right behind him is Joe Ruttman, Glenn Jarrett, along with young Bobby Allen, or Davey Allison, I believe, or Bobby is in that position. That would be the 6th spot in the field. The leaders are in turn 3.
Elliott and Earnhardt leading, reeling in that lead duo. The duo, of course, is Gant and Earnhardt as they pull it off the high bank turn number 4.
Officially now 17 lead changes among 6 drivers. Front 4 altogether with Bonnet running 4th, Ruttman in 5th, Bobby Allison in 6th, Glenn Jarrett in 7th, and in the 8th position it is Ingram with 9th Houston and 10th David Allison.
I can't believe Huckleberry Finn, as you guys call him, Bill Elliott, shuffling and dicing with the Warlords like a Sunday afternoon at Central Park. It's 4 cars battling in 3.
And now Bonnet has gone to the inside. He's on the move, Hal Overton.
And he has his hands full there, because coming right back is Bill Elliott taking a low groove into turn 4.
But it is Bonnet persevering and taking 3rd position. Bonnet in the 3rd, Elliott to 4th. In the battle for 5th, which is 2 seconds back, it is now Bobby Allison 5th, Ruttman 6th, Glenn Jarrett in 7th, and then a second and a half back is Ingram, and right behind Ingram
is Tommy Houston in turn 2.
Is Tommy Houston. And right behind him comes David Allison. It's still 10 cars in the lead lap. And here comes Ingram down the inside on Jarrett.
3 wide out of turn 4 in front of you. Hill over it.
What a show we're seeing here as they come over that 4th turn, and on the point it's Bonnet, and then Earnhardt drops to the inside.
Earnhardt going for first place across the start-finish line, side by side. Earnhardt has it.
Earnhardt on the inside of turn 1. Bonnet tries to shuffle down. Can't do it. He's got no room. Gant is there. Gant tries to shut the door. Go to second. Bonnet will show briefly back in third. Bill Elliott's right there playing the waiting game down the back chute.
Slam bang style down that back chute here, the 2,000-foot long chute, and on the point it's Dale Earnhardt. Then Bonnet in second. Dropping inside of Bonnet is Harry Gant, and there's Bill Elliott. You can throw a blanket over the top 4 cars. They battle their way over to turn 4, and now dropping way low is the Earnhardt car.
And Gant shoots under Bonnet and takes second. Now it is Bonnet back at the start-finish line going right back up to second place. He brings with him Elliott, and Gant goes back to 4th, all in about 4 seconds.
You get out of the draft over here in turns 1 and 2, and you drop kick yourself back about 4 slots, and that's what happened to Harry Gant. Elliott may be on the charge midway down the backstretch in the late stages.
There may be a tire problem on Harry Gant's car. Could be a tire problem. We'll wait and see. He has fallen back to 4th as the field comes around out of turn number 4 this time. The leader remains car 15. It is Earnhardt in front, Bonnet in second, Elliott in 3rd, and for the moment, Gant hangs right in there, battle for that second position at the first turn.
That is a battle between Bill Elliott and Neil Bonnet. Elliott down. Now there's a slow car, that of Glenn Jarrett. Up in turn number 2, they'll go 3 wide. Bonnet's up against the wall. Elliott threads it center now. There's down the backstretch, dead heat.
Elliott and Bonnet had to go high to get around that floor car. They're still dead, even going into turn 3, and now running Elliott is Neil Bonnet, and he's got about 8 car length separation between himself and the leader, Earnhardt, off 4.
as they meander back to the line. It will be Earnhardt first, Bonnet second, Elliott third, Harry Gant in fourth. We'll pause for 70 seconds for these local messages and for station identification.
Danny Journey, you need to come to the media center. Danny Journey, you're needed at the media center. So Danny, try to make your way over there. Don't forget Winston Cup Grand National practice right after today's Mello Yello 300 victory lane ceremonies. As they come back out of turn number 4 and head into the double dog leg, Dale Earnhardt still your leader. Neil Bonnet rides second, Bill Elliott third, then it's Harry Gant going fourth. Bobby Allison fifth, Jack Ingram sixth, then it's going to be Joe Ruttman and Glenn Jarrett, Tommy Houston, and Davey Allison. That rounds out your top 10. Down the backstretch they go, stretched out just a little bit as car number 15 is on the point. And remember, Dale Earnhardt was a lap down earlier today, but right now, Earnhardt shows the way around the Charlotte Motor Speedway in the Wrangler number 15 prepared car as he leads it back out of turn number 4. Neil Bonnet closing in from second place, Bill Elliott third, Harry Gant in fourth as they come back across the start-finish line. And back about 35 car lengths to Bobby Allison and Jack Ingram, going fifth and sixth, Glenn Jarrett, Joe Ruttman.
The feathers fly. Burt Reynolds is Stroker Ace, a guy who'll do anything for love.
I want you.
You do?
Yes.
And especially money.
You think it's easy driving with chicken feet?
Burt Reynolds, Stroker Ace, a crash course in comedy. Rated PG, parental guidance suggested. See Stroker Ace starting Friday, July 1st at a selected theater near you.
At the Charlotte Motor Speedway, 140 of 200 laps have now been completed. Jack Ingram is on the move. He has taken Joe Ruttman. He has taken Jarrett, and he is now attacking Bobby Allison for fifth position as they enter turn number 1. The leader is Dale Earnhardt. In second, Neil Bonnet with the third position in the hands of Bill Elliott, and fourth, about 15 car lengths back now, is Harry Gant. That's how they stand as they move around to complete the 141st lap. The major battle on the track is that between Bobby Allison and the old Iron Man Jack Ingram, the many-time national sportsman champion. And among the regular weekly short trackers, Ingram is the story at the present time as he attacks Allison in the Miller High Life car at turn 1.
Well, Ingram trails Allison. He tries to look to the outside, changes his mind. Allison then single files it with Ingram right up on the rear quarter panel. Down the back chute, though, Bonnet is closing on Earnhardt.
And he just about is right there going into turn number 3. In fact, it's a three-way battle for the lead, but Earnhardt still has it. Bonnet is second. Oh, Bonnet fishtails in turn 4, but gathers it back up, and Elliott's right on his back bumper.
Now the tires getting worn down a little here, and the intensity of the battle heating up as still Elliott holds on to those two leaders, and Gant takes a waiting position, now about 1 second back from the trio leading the event. Earnhardt, Bonnet, Elliott, 1, 2, 3 out of turn number 2 with the blue and yellow Wrangler car on the point, working the 144th lap. They go to turn 3.
Right now it's about a full straightaway back to fifth spot in Bobby Allison and about 5 cars back to the Iron Man Jack Ingram in the brown and white number 11 car. Your leader's off turn 4.
Tomorrow, it is the World 600 here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. We hope you'll join us for the broadcast tomorrow afternoon starting at 12 Eastern. We certainly hope you'll be part of the attendance here for this great Memorial Weekend celebration. The World 600 at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. 4 cars in the back straightaway and now about equally divided among them. It's about 10 car lengths each between the Earnhardt car in first. Now he loses a bit of that as Bonnet pulls back up on him. And then that third place car remains Elliott with the fourth place machine Gant, and they all close up again. The accordion back together as they come to the stripe, and Neil Bonnet going to the outside in turn number 1. Now to the inside is ready to attack for the lead.
Down on the bottom of the racetrack goes Neil Bonnet, but it's single file again. Earnhardt shuts the door on him. Bill Elliott's got Harry Gant glued to him. Momentarily, the sun went behind the clouds, could have cooled him a bit, gave him a little extra burst of energy because it's late in this event. It'll be 55 laps to go as they cross the stripe.
Single file, 1, 2, 3, 4. They come into that third turn. Earnhardt, Bonnet, Bill Elliott, Harry Gant in that order, and you can throw a blanket over the top 4.
Sancho Matthews, how warm do these cars run? What does the temperature gauge show on those cars right now?
Well, I'd say they run about 210 degrees.
An engine blowing coming down the front straightaway.
Jarrett.
Like car 24, Jarrett.
Glenn Jarrett. Glenn Jarrett goes up in smoke. The Bud Light car, there was no caution coming out. The Bullfrog Knit car of Glenn Jarrett, a lot of smoke coming out as he goes around the track down into 1 and 2. We'd seen it all the way in the main straightaway. Just before he cooked that one, you were about to say how hot they were going to run.
Well, in weather like this, they usually run 200, 210. In Daytona in February, they run 170, 180. You have to run the grill open on these cars during the summer, and it just makes a lot of difference the outside weather. If the outside weather is 20 degrees hotter, then the engine runs 20 degrees hotter.
Now here's Jarrett pulling onto pit road. Going very slowly. He showed some smoke, but he hasn't stopped, and I believe the motor is still running. Let's see if we can get a report on pit road. Here's Chuck Young.
Well, Ken, I'm just a few steps from him. I'll come back to you here in just a moment when we get the official word from the Glenn Jarrett pit. Back to you.
They have both the trunk lid up as well as the hood up. 149 laps complete when they come by this time. Bobby Allison has fended off the Jack Ingram attack, so Allison remains in fifth, and Ingram is a little further back. Meanwhile, up in front,
we got a battle on turn number 2. Gant has just taken over second. Bonnet doesn't like it. He wants to go back up there. Earnhardt is pulling away while Gant and Bonnet do battle in 3.
Lead for Gant in turn 3 and 4, and about an 8-10 car separation being enjoyed by the Pontiac driving Dale Earnhardt off 4.
149 laps complete. The Skull Bandit is in front. The Warner Hodgson car in second. The Aladdin Machine in third. And let's see if there's any magic out there among the correction. They are in second, third, and fourth. It is still the Wrangler car in that lead all by himself. He has about a second and a half now in front. And then it is Gant in second. And following him comes the Warner Hodgson car, Neil Bonnet, followed by Bill Elliott, and they are bumper to bumper back at turn 3.
Where it's really getting to be rough over there. In fact, you can almost not see that middle lane anymore because the rubber they've ground into this speedway is really dark.
150 laps complete, just 50 laps remaining, and the battle stays right up in front. Sliding in between cars going to turn number 1 is your leader.
It is Dale Earnhardt picking off lap traffic. Meanwhile, this is going to give Gant some catch-up time. Harry pulls the Skull Bandit, reeling in like he's fishing on a Saturday afternoon, a prelude to the World 600. Bonnet's going to pressure Gant, though.
And it looks like Bonnet is trying to reel them both in as Bonnet is there. He's in third spot, but he's right on the back bumper of the car going low, which is the car driven by Harry Gant, and Bonnet goes a little bit higher, about a half a lane higher.
Reviewing further back in your field, following that intense battle, they are catching up with the leader. They are overhauling the number 15 car. Earnhardt is being caught up now. Right up behind him moves Gant. He had a lead of almost a second and a half. That evaporates. It's down to about 10 car lengths back straightaway, and Gant is on the attack. He's ready to go after the leader, Dale Earnhardt, as they move around in the 152nd lap at turn 3.
About 3 car length separation between the first and second spots as they make their way into turn number 4. Here's Gant stopping, pedals in the middle as he goes after Earnhardt.
Back to the stripe they come. Closing another car length is Gant. They pull up on a lap car as they go to the first turn.
Back in turn 1, it's Earnhardt, Gant, this Bonnet, followed by Bill Elliott. Front 4 are close together. The next battle would be 5th spot. That would be Bobby Allison. 6th would be Jack Ingram. And 7th should be Joe Ruttman. 8th is Tommy Houston.
The 9th position is David Allison. David Allison is in 9th. As you know, we lost one of the leaders. Jarrett fell by the wayside. Randy Tissett is now 10th overall. Maintaining the 11th position is Ronnie Silver. 12th is Bosco Lowe. And 13th in the race, 13th is Randy Tissett. Going back to your 10th position, we would show car number 34, which is the Frank Kelly car driven by Joe Kelly today. That is the Kelly car running 10th, and Tissett is being shown back in 13th. The 14th position overall is J.D. McDuffie, and showing 15th on the field is the car number 4 of Joe Thurman.
Battle on the back straightaway. Dale Earnhardt's got Harry Gant right up on his bumper, so is Neil Bonnet and Bill Elliott begins. You could put a blanket almost over the front 2, then the second 2 would be in 3rd and 4th, that being Bonnet and Elliott as they come off turn 4 back to the stripe.
Magnificent fight for the lead. The blue and yellow colors of Wrangler. Out in front. Earnhardt has it. Now the Skull Bandit goes to the inside. Gant can't get through at turn 1.
Single file. Bonnet looks to the outside. Tries to go around Gant. Changes his mind. They'll stay single file out of turn 2 as they head off the south banking down the back chute.
Earnhardt with a rear view mirror full of green and white. That being the Harry Gant number 28 Skull car as they're just about right together going into turn 3, but sticking it into that third turn a little bit deeper, now scooting out 2 car lengths ahead is Dale Earnhardt, who's in 4, taking the bottom groove over Harry Gant.
155 laps complete this time. The time is running out. It is of the essence. It becomes the issue among these four who are drawing away. They have almost 6, 7, 8 seconds over the 5th place automobile, which is Bobby Allison, and Allison has a fair length over car number 11, Jack Ingram, who is running in 6th. Then comes the Tommy Houston car and the Ruttman automobile.
Leaders are over in the backstretch, heading for Hill Overton in turn 3. And they're running single file this time off of turn number 4 with still Earnhardt on the point, and that's the way they're running down the stripe.
As they come to the line, Bonnet is ready to make a run for 2nd place. He goes to the outside, sneaks a peek, then drops to the inside, going to turn 1 as he fights with Gant.
Gant closes the door on Bonnet once again. Bonnet goes out to breathe the car high on the banking to the outside, and Phil Elliott's going to try to put a move on the automobile of Neil Bonnet. Now Neil Bonnet goes to the inside, midway down the backstretch with Gant.
Bonnet with his foot in it, gets around Harry Gant, and here comes Huckleberry Finn. Bill Elliott has made the move. Now he's in 3rd. So they go after the leader, Dale Earnhardt, who's in turn number 4, and sweeps it up toward the wall as he takes it down the front straight.
Back to the line they come. Now 157 laps complete. And this is the kind of thing for which Charlotte and all of NASCAR racing now becomes synonymous. As they go into turns 1 and 2, that leader, Earnhardt, knows that he has no easy travel here. This is no walkover as Neil Bonnet fights his way back to 2nd. Elliott comes to 3rd. And I believe Gant is breathing that Skull Bandit for a moment, the car that was scheduled for Phil Parsons before he tries to make his attack on this race. Back to turn number 4. They lap 2 automobiles. They come back to the stripe another time to complete 158. And as they do, Earnhardt still has it his way with Bonnet in 2nd, Elliott 3rd, Gant in 4th.
I'm wondering if Harry Gant's got tire problems, possibly. Maybe Chuck Young can give us an update, though, on the Glenn Jarrett car when we go back to him later on. Here in turn number 2, it is still Earnhardt, Bonnet, along with the 3rd place guy of the Huckleberry Finn, Bill Elliott. Gant is really dropping way off the pace down the back chute.
And look at the National Engineering car of Neil Bonnet. The candy apple red, white, and gold number 75 was mounting a charge, but shutting that door was Dale Earnhardt. He's in turn 4, has Bonnet back in 2nd, 3rd spot, Bill Elliott.
In this race, Earnhardt was 2nd in 1981. He was 2nd in 1982. He's trying to win it for the first time. As he goes to turn number 1, Bonnet is right there with him.
No room at all. Earnhardt seems to be handling magnificently downstairs here in 1 and 2. He goes way down, and then Bonnet just has to shuffle up in the groove. It cost him a lot of time.
Thinking back to the 3rd place car, Bill Elliott, they better watch out for this gentleman because he won 2nd spot in both World 600 and the National 500 events here last year, and he's lurking in 3rd right now. He's in turn 4.
9 automobiles in the lead lap with 160 laps complete. Let's get a quick report from Pat Patterson in the garage.
The pilot of the Bullfrog Mitts Bud Light car coming in, Glenn Jarrett, awfully disappointed. You really ran up there up front with the guys. What happened to the car?
Pat, I don't know. It started missing along there, and I looked down and it still had oil pressure. It started blowing off for about a lap, and I just shut it off and lost the oil pressure. So
the car was handling so good up until that point. Your best run, of course, finishing very well up at Dover a few weeks ago, and this, of course, you know, a super run for you.
Well, we were a little bit off. The Grand National boys could go through the corners just a little quicker than I could. I was a little bit too tight, but you know, we were in for a good finish, and you know, it's nice to be able to run up there with them, but doesn't do you any good if you can't run all day.
Okay, Glenn Jarrett out of it here today.
The front 4 positions seem to stabilize for a moment. They are kind of resting themselves for that final attack. And as that quartet up in front just holds positions for a moment, let's go quickly to Darlene Dixon, standing by in the suite area of the Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Mello Yello, part of the Coca-Cola family, is sponsoring this exciting, colorful race today, and I'm here with Hugh Williams, the marketing director. I know you people are really thrilled with such an exceptional crowd turnout here.
Well, no doubt about it. It's fantastic. We've had, this is our 4th annual Mello Yello, and every year we get a bigger and bigger crowd. We couldn't be happier.
So let's come back next May and have an exciting race. I tell you, I don't know if we can get one any more exciting than we've had today. We've got a real first campaign for Mello Yello. It was called the Fastest Soft Drink, and that's why Mello Yello got involved with the Charlotte Motor Speedway and the Sportsman Race. This is Darlene from the Coca-Cola suite at the VIP level at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Okay, Ken, take it away, babe.
163 laps complete in those. 162 down. And into turn number 1. It is still car number 15, Dale Earnhardt in front. He has been the runner-up the last 2 years. Banjo, do you think he's got the makings to hold on for the finish?
Oh, I don't know. This has been such a competitive race. You know way that you can just say who's going to win what. But, you know, if this is prior to what's going to happen tomorrow, all those cars that I'm sitting there looking at, waiting to go out on the racetrack, boy, it'll be something tomorrow.
Indeed it will. Noon Eastern Time. 600 here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Front 4 cars still just maintaining position, waiting for that charge, the attack on Victory Lane at Charlotte. We'll be with you for it in a moment. Let's take this break right now. This is the Performance Racing Network. We'll pause for this 2-minute local break.
We'll rejoin the Performance Racing Network here in just a moment at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Reminder once again, right after today's Mello Yello 300 Grand National Practice, and then of course tomorrow, all the celebration, all the pageantry that makes the World 600 one of the most exciting, if not the most exciting stop on the Grand National Tour. The pageantry and of course the event itself will all be coming about tomorrow as a lot of dignitaries, including Burt Reynolds and Lonnie Anderson, will be on hand tomorrow here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway to help celebrate the World 600. Walter Wood, Hal Needham, Bubba Smith, Parker Stevenson, Lonnie Anderson, and Burt Reynolds. The entire cast of Stroker Ace, or the big names, will be on hand here tomorrow at the World 600. And of course, Mark Thatcher, son of the Prime Minister of England, Margaret Thatcher, is going to be on hand tomorrow. He's here today along with a lot of other dignitaries and folks to make this just another very, very special World 600 celebration. That coming up tomorrow, of course, here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Let's pick up the field again as our top front 4 run out front. It's Dale Earnhardt on the point. Earnhardt has built up a little bit of an advantage now, about a 10-car length lead as they head out of turns 3 and 4 and come back into the double dog leg. It's Earnhardt on the point. Neil Bonnet riding in second, just a bit back. Harry Gant in third. And Bill Elliott from Dawsonville, Georgia, has dropped back to the 4th spot. Well back, running about a third of a lap back in 5th place, rather, is going to be Bobby Allison, the 22 Miller High Life entry. But right now, it's Dale Earnhardt showing the way around the Charlotte Motor Speedway. And number 15, of course, Earnhardt is a previous winner here, having won the National 500. Always drives well, likes Charlotte, considers it his hometown track and his hometown fans. As they pass into the shadows of a passing cloud, Dale Earnhardt continues to lead here at the Mello Yello 300.
Dale Earnhardt has now led 51 laps here in the Mello Yello 300 at the Charlotte Motor Speedway in his effort to win this event for the first time. Neil Bonnet has led 61, Harry Gant 27, Bill Elliott 25, David Allison 2, or Bobby Allison 2, and Glenn Jarrett led 1 lap. Glenn Jarrett has had to bring his automobile in, as you heard just moments ago. 169 laps when they come by this time. 24 cars of the 42 starters are still running, and it is the Robert G. car, number 15, originally built as part of the Australian racing team. That's one of the older cars out here, Banjo Matthews, but it certainly is giving a heck of a ride to Dale Earnhardt today. He now has almost a second and a half. Earnhardt over the second place man, Neil Bonnet. Sometimes older is better.
That's right. You know, that's the car that he's got in the wall real heavy with here, and Austin gave the thing to Robert G., and Robert G. rebuilt the thing, and he's raced it ever since. They better start getting sorted out here, because about 30 more laps to go. If they get enough lead, it's hard to run them back down even drastic.
The interval is getting larger for Dale Earnhardt as he continues to draw away. For some of you folks who are not so familiar with sport, Robert G. is considered absolutely one of the very best. 3.5 seconds? 3.5 seconds now between first and second. That's incredible. Robert G. is considered absolutely one of the best body men in putting those panels on so they'll run on a super speedway, and very slick on a short track for that matter too, and takes a great deal of pride in his cars. And this number 15 is the pride of that racing stable as it comes back to the line. It's going into turn number 1. Here's Bill Connell.
Dale Earnhardt just cruising right around. He's taking a fine line all the way around here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Up in 1 and 2 as he gets in the base, but so is Neil Bonnet and Harry Gant. along with Bill Elliott. It's late in the race, 171. These guys know they're going to have a 25-lap shootout.
Dale Earnhardt with things very much his own way right now. That car has been consistently able to handle in the bottom groove more so all day than anyone else. Here he is on turn 4, and he has a considerable lead over Neil Bonnet.
171 complete, 172 now on your leaders. 172 are in the books, and the whole story is right there in front among 4 drivers. The major issue, of course, is this car of Dale Earnhardt's. Now, twice he has come very close to winning this race and had difficulty and had to fall back. Right now, he is drawing away. A battle for second going down to turn 3, Hill Overton.
And dropping low is Harry Gant. Harry gets down inside and fronts Neil Bonnet. Bonnet relegated back to the 3rd spot. Meanwhile, Bill Elliott still 4th.
In Kannapolis, North Carolina, 2 nights ago, Dale Earnhardt threw a little party for just a few of his friends. Some 470 showed up. It was some occasion with bands and music and festive time. And then he said he was going to bed early last night and get ready for this weekend. And he feels he really needs to win, that he must win this weekend. And of course, tomorrow, all the emphasis is on that front row. Jet planes coming from Detroit, from Dearborn, as the Ford folks are coming to Charlotte to see Ford Thunderbirds, 1983 model cars, lined up in those front 3 positions. Here's a note for you. The attendance today, 75,000, which is a new record for Saturday at this track. Add that to the some 30,000 plus that were here for qualifying, and before we get to race day, we've had over 100,000 people here this weekend to enjoy this great racing facility at the heartland of American stock car racing, the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Banjo Matthews is with us today, one of the great names in this game for many years, and probably 2/3 of the race cars we'll see tomorrow. You must feel like a racehorse breeder who has the entire field in your pocket and in your stable, Banjo.
Yeah, well, you know, that's one of the things that happens when you build good cars and have good friends that you work with. And, you know, I've been involved in this thing ever since I can remember, and most people around here can remember. So we do the things that NASCAR says to do, and the rules all approach all the things that are for safety and for speed and for durability. And that's why I have good cars in races, because of the teams that operate the things.
25 laps to go, and along, of course, with the Banjo Matthews, there's a lot of Laughlin chassis running out here, and the Hutchison-Hagan name, and some old Holman Moody cars in this race. But over the years, I think everyone has come to know that there was one man you wanted to talk to about race cars. It's Banjo Matthews, and it's a delight to have him with us this weekend for this 24th running of the World 600 tomorrow afternoon. Now, there are 25 laps remaining, and the situation is this. The first place car, deployed about 3 seconds out in front, is Dale Earnhardt, trying to win this race for the first time. Harry Gant has moved into second and apparently gave the motion to Neil Bonnet to pull up on his rear bumper. And as we check the interval now to see if those 2 cars can run down the leader, the interval now stands at 2 1/10 seconds. And indeed, those 2 cars hitched up in a draft, the Gant car and the Bonnet car, are running down the front place machine. 2.5 seconds behind second and third, Gant and Bonnet. The 4th place car, that is Bill Elliott. Then in 5th is the Bobby Allison machine. In the 6th position is Jack Ingram. Running 7th is Tommy Houston, who's come from 41st. And in the 8th position is Joe Rutland, who has fallen back. Running 9th is David Allison. They are all in the lead lap. Then in the 10th position, a lap down, is car number 34, and that is Joe Kelly, while in the 11th position is Ronnie Silver, and in the 12th position, Bosco Lowe, with the 13th spot now Randy Tissett, and the 14th position, car number 4, Joe Thurman. In the 15th position is car number 03, J.D. McDuffie. Now Davey Allison has gone a lap down, and we have 9 cars in the lead lap as we prepare for the finish of the Mello Yello 300.
I pilot my own plane, and my co-pilot is a little round can of Copenhagen.
Okay, fans, you can sort of pat yourself on the back today because the Charlotte Motor Speedway announces their crowd estimate today at 75,000, and that's a record for this event. You team that up, of course, with the Camel GT event, which attracted an estimated 60,000, 30,000 here for qualifying on Wednesday, and add all those estimates up together, and it's well over 150,000 people here already in the month of May, and that's with the premier event, the World 600, expected to attract in the area of 134,000 tomorrow. So quite a few race fans have found their way to the Charlotte Motor Speedway during the month of May in 1983, and I think they've been able to enjoy very, very exciting racing. Right now, though, Dale Earnhardt trying to make it a little unexciting as he pulls away from the field going down the backstretch. Harry Gant and Neil Bonnet in hot pursuit as Neil takes a peek at Harry on the inside as they head into turn number 3. Right now, the battle on the racetrack is for second place. It's a three-way battle with Harry Gant, Neil Bonnet, and Bill Elliott as they cross turn 4 and come back down across the start-finish line.
Be able to come back and say, okay, we've won this and we won that, and then sometimes when we didn't win, then we just take a Goodies and forget the whole thing.
Read the label, folks. Goodies headache powders give you the 2 pain relievers doctors recommend most.
Goodies gets rid of the pain fast, and that's what counts.
Burt Reynolds is Stroke a Race in a modest,
it's part of the wonderfulness of man.
meaningful,
I'm a Sunday school teacher. Didn't you read that on my resume?
sensitive motion picture
I've done some dumb things in my life. This is the dumbest.
about the loving, caring relationship between a man and his race car. The only thing he does better than winning,
I want you,
is scoring.
You do?
Burt Reynolds is Stroke a Race. Rated PG. Parental guidance suggested.
See Stroke a Race starting Friday, July 1st at a selected theater near you.
Less than 20 laps remaining, down to 18 laps to go in the Mello Yello 300 this afternoon here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. 75,000 have gathered for this festive occasion, and that is just the leading edge of the parade who will come here to Charlotte tomorrow to enjoy one of the great racing classics, the near $500,000 World 600 on this mile-and-a-half track. The situation now, Dale Earnhardt seems to have this race in hand. You can't say it's no contest. He's out in front. He's come so close so many times and then it fall away. But right now, he's lengthened his lead by just a tad over the second-place man, Harry Gant. Last year's winner, the third-place driver, Neil Bonnet, right on Gant's rear bumper, and fourth place, Bill Elliott, who is pulled right up behind Bonnet. Second, third, and fourth is a dogfight as we get down to the end. There will be 15 laps to go as they come by this time. Bobby Allison remains in the 5th position, with the 6th position, Jack Ingram, 7th, Houston, and 8th, Joe Ruttman.
Dale Earnhardt coming out of turn number 2 has just put a lap on the 8th and 9th position automobile, so he is really turning up the wick on that Wrangler Pontiac, car number 15. Earnhardt just into turn number 3, but look at the battle coming down the back chute between Gant, Bonnet, and Elliott.
They're 1, 2, 3 at that corner, actually second, third, and fourth in the race with Gant on the lead. Now here comes Elliott down inside of Neil Bonnet off of turn 4.
The cars can probably go the remaining distance without a pit stop. The interval now stands at 3 2/10 seconds as once again the wick has been turned up, as the old cliche goes, on car number 15. The battle, however, is back for 3rd position as Bill Elliott begins to come on in turn 2.
Elliott down to the inside of Bonnet. Bonnet may have blistered a tire going into 1. He was very loose here a moment ago. The battle is in 3.
Harry Gant still has second. Here comes Neil Bonnet now. Bonnet sails up toward the wall, gets in a little high and a little deep that time, and going down inside all 4 to car number 17, driven by Elliott.
Dale Earnhardt looking for a win. Side by side, 3rd place. Inside it is Elliott. Outside it is Bonnet on the way to turn 1.
Upstairs goes Bonnet. Elliott will take him. Bill Elliott moves into the number 3 position. Bonnet is dropped back to 4th. And let's see what Harry Gant is doing. He is broken away from that pack of Elliott and Bonnet. Looks like Gant may be closing the gap, Hill Overton.
He may be just a little, but he still has about a half a straightaway separation between himself and that lead car of Earnhardt. Here's Gant coming off turn 4.
And Waltrip is devouring the field. He's eating up everything out here. He's just gone by the 5th place car, Bobby Allison. Bobby has gone a lap down, which means that Ingram has gone a lap down, as well as Houston, as well as Ruttman. We now have 5 cars in the lead lap. We're down to the final 13 laps. 187 complete. Working lap 188 of 200. Back straight away. Gant in the 3rd position. Correction, 2nd position. Elliott has come to third. Dropping to fourth is Bonnet as they move around in that battle for second place. Back to the stripe another time. It is still Earnhardt in front as he goes into turn number 1.
Earnhardt leads him into turn 1, but Gant now has got the likes of Bill Elliott. Where in the world has he found this extra power? Here in turns 1 and 2, he is right on the bumper of Harry Gant's automobile, so the battle is settled for second. This race down to the wire. It may not be for the lead, but second and third is a whiz of a battle down the back chute.
Looks like Bill Elliott's going for that same spot that he enjoyed here last year in both the World 600 and the National 500. He's down right on the back bumper, taking about a half a lane lower. Oh, he gets a little bit skitterish there in turn 4 and has to stay behind Harry Gant's car.
They say there's a beat in the motor on car number 75, that Neil Bonnet may be dropping a valve out here, and he has fallen away from Harry Gant and Bill Elliott, now fighting for second place. Bill Elliott with 6 second places in the last year and a half in the Winston Cup Grand National Tour. It's just about his title, Mr. Second. Let's see what he's going to do today. Remember, he pulled off that incredible finish at Daytona when on the last lap, we saw Kaylee Yarborough come to victory, and Bill Elliott wheeled through to second by inches over Buddy Baker in third. I wonder if that'll happen tomorrow in the World 600. Be with us and find out. Back to the line. Now 189 laps complete. Second and third place cars overlapping the fifth place machine, Bobby Allison, as they move down to Bill Connell.
It looks like Gant is closing that margin between he and Earnhardt, and it could be because Elliott has a little bit more power to push Gant. Gant's trying to break away, though, on that back straightaway and run to himself as they head into turn 3.
And they definitely are closing up at this point. You can see it now, and you can count the links evaporating between first and second spot. We'll have to see if the second, third place cars can do the drafting through
with 10 laps to go. Call it 9 now as they come to the line. The interval between first and second is still a healthy 2+ seconds between first and second. First, Dale Earnhardt, runner-up a year ago, runner-up in 1981. And now the Robert G. car, working flawlessly for him, stays well in the lead, with Harry Gant having to fend off Bill Elliott going into turn 3.
And I would think right now that Dale Earnhardt's got to start listening to that car. Wonder if there's going to be any funny sounds, but he looks awfully good as he heads down the double dog leg front straightaway at the Charlotte Motor Speedway.
12th is Bosco Lowe. Bosco Lowe is running in 12th. Going further back for some of you racing fans, Randy Tissot is still in 13th. The 14th position is Joe Thurman. The 15th position is J.D. McDuffie. And the 16th position at the present time is Satch Worley. Satch Worley running 16th, and that is far back as we're getting scoring at this moment. Let's go back to turn 3.
Here's Earnhardt again. He's still down at the bottom of the racetrack, which is a short way around this or any racetrack. Looking good as he pulls off. Right now, here's Bonnet trying to close up as we have a 3-way battle for second spot.
As they come back to the line, it is even Steven Gant on the outside, and on the inside trying to get through. It's that car 17, and now here comes Neil Bonnet into it.
3 wide at turn number 1, and nobody knows who's going to settle that battle for second. It looks like Gant will come out on top of the Skull car. Now it's for third between Neil Bonnet and Bill Elliott. Bonnet will use the draft to his advantage midway down the backstretch.
It's showtime. It's go time down that back straightaway, and right now it's Gant still hanging on to second spot. But look at Bonnet now. Bonnet sticks his nose down low as Gant skids high as they move around the Bobby Allison car, who's down in the bottom three. That's Davey Allison off 4.
Rodney Howard just pitted and came back out. Neil Bonnet nearly rear-ended Davey Allison as he came up on him. Whatever the story was about Neil Bonnet, it seems to be incorrect. He is absolutely flying. He's moved back around Elliott. He's going after Harry Gant as they go out at turn number 2. The battle is for second place as Earnhardt continues to draw away, but cannot draw a deep, safe breath yet. As they come by, there will be 5 laps to go this time. The battle is at turn 3.
Well, trio for second, third, and fourth. He's still led by Harry Gant, then the Neil Bonnet, and Bill Elliott. That order.
At the stripe, Gant is second, Bonnet third, Elliott fourth. They've overlapped, and now the Allisons are running almost side by side. Bobby Allison about to overlap David as they go through turns 1 and 2. And there they are, the Miller High Life cars running in lockstep down the back straightaway, the 22 and the 23. Bob pulls up and gives the kid a wave, says, see you a little later. And don't be late for supper. As they come out now, there'll be 4 laps to go. Down out of turn number 4, and here comes Bonnet on the inside. Neil Bonnet making a move for second place. Bonnet is on his way. Gant is with him. They're side by side. Going to turn number 1. Here's Bill Cannell.
It's a dead heat, door to door. Bill Elliott's going to take advantage of it upstairs. Gant, he follows on that rear bumper in the draft. Oh, and Gant is very loose. Next to the wall, Bonnet will take over second. Gant will drop to third. Elliott will battle with him midway down the back straightaway. Less than 4 laps remaining now with Neil Bonnet riding in the second spot, but here's Harry Gant. 1 car length back, but Bonnet goes low and shoots out to a 2-car length advantage in that battle for second spot. So it's Bonnet, Gant, and Elliott second, third, and fourth.
3 laps to go, and almost a 3-second advantage for Dale Earnhardt, who has become a little tired of that runner-up position in this race. 2 straight years trying to change it today. He's still in front, but the battle for second in turn number 1. Here's Gant going back after Neil Bonnet.
And all of a sudden, Bill Elliott gets the door shut right in his face. Knowing Gant is right there, Bonnet is trying to fight off his lights midway down through the back straightaway.
Looks like we're going to have a real shootout for that second spot. It could be any one of 3 cars. Right now, it's Neil Bonnet there, then Harry Gant and Bill Elliott, second, third, and fourth as they take it off the deep part of turn 4.
And then there were 2 laps to go. Earnhardt holding on, taking that deep breath, just praying it sticks together. Here comes Gant to the inside on Bonnet, going to turn 1, and here comes Elliott underneath him.
75,000 race fans are on their feet beneath us here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Bonnet, Gant, Elliott, the battle unsettled for second. Earnhardt may get the white, he will next time by. Look at it, down the back straightaway. We watch Gant try to reel in and go around Bonnet.
No place for the faint-hearted as they take it into turn 3 for next to the last time. Dropping low, Harry Gant, stole banded right up on the back bumper of Bonnet. Can't do it, but let's see what he does down the front chute.
White flag is extended on the leader. White flag is out on Bonnet and tapping the rear bumper as they came across the line. Gant working Bonnet's rear bumper. Elliott dives inside in turn 1.
Bill Elliott's going after the 3rd place. Right now, Bonnet's got second in his mate, but look out, Gant is up next to the wall. They touch sheet metal. Elliott will be 3rd. It'll be Gant 4th midway down the backstretch.
Right now, it's still Bill Elliott 3rd. He's got a 0 in on the car of Neil Bonnet. Bonnet in the second spot in the race, dropped to the bottom. Meanwhile, your leader coming off turn 4 as he'll head for the stripe.
Here comes the winner, Earnhardt. The story is second. Bonnet's on the inside. Elliott is still attacking. Elliott trying to take away second spot. Bonnet will contain it. It'll be Neil Bonnet for second place. Bill Elliott in 3rd, and the bandit Harry Gant, last year's winner, is settled back into 4th position as they come across the line. The tough customer, Dale Earnhardt, wins it for Wrangler.
It's the Wrangler brand's Dale Earnhardt, winner of today's Winston Cup race.
Coming around to get the checkered flag in the Wrangler jeans machine.
So congratulations goes out to Dale Earnhardt on the shores of Lake Norman. I imagine there's a lot of people celebrating in his neighborhood as Dale Earnhardt overpowered the field in the closing laps of today's Mello Yello 300 to take number 15 as Wrangler Pontiac home to victory today. So congratulations goes out from all of the crowd here to Dale Earnhardt, the driver of number 15, the winner of today's Mello Yello 300 as Dale brings it down pit road and heads toward victory lane.
75,000 on their feet, welcoming a great favorite, Dale Earnhardt. A tremendous ovation for a great run by one of the most fantastic competitors on the Winston Cup Tour. The 1979 Grand National Rookie of the Year, 1980 National Champion. Looks like he's really ready for tomorrow's World 600 running, the $500,000 effort tomorrow, as today the Robert G. machine is finding itself coming into victory lane at the famed Charlotte Motor Speedway. A great moment for Earnhardt, and we'll be going down there momentarily to greet the winner. About ready to step out of his car. Let's go down there and get a word from Chuck Young.
Well, here in Victory Lane, Dale Earnhardt has been one tough customer. He's being handed down some Mello Yellows. He is still sitting in the Wrangler jeans machine trying to cool off. It's been a hot afternoon. So, Ken, we'll go back up to you for just a moment while we give Dale a chance to get unbuckled and out of the helmets and out of the car.
All right, back in just a moment. We'll be getting the time and the official rundown for you momentarily, as going into victory lane today is Dale Earnhardt. He's had some misfortunes over the past couple of years, but it seems to be coming together. And tomorrow, the Thunderbird will be thundering. He'll be one of the front three. Now again to victory lane.
Well, as Dale gets ready to climb out of the car, Robert G. Robert G., you told me a minute ago you built this car in 1980, and it's a super race car, no doubt about it.
Yeah, it's been a good one ever since we put it together.
Is this the first time, though, it's won, or has it won before?
Oh, this is the third time it's won.
The third time it's won, and Dale Earnhardt has put it in the victory lane for his first time, his first trip here.
Well, in the last 5 races, we run here 4 times second, and we won this one.
Well, congratulations, Robert G. We've been talking about you and how well you put this car together, and you're a great credit here.
Well, I want to thank Wrangler and Prototype Racing Engines for building a fine motor for the car.
Bud Moore, your crew did a super job, too, also, as they put together those pit stops that enabled you to come from a lap down back into the lead.
Yeah, we finally got the car tightened up for him, and we got the stagger right on the tires, and Goodyear tires really worked well, and that gave us a victory because we finally got everything hooked up just right.
You got the team teamed up ready for tomorrow, don't you?
Oh, yeah, we're ready for tomorrow.
Okay, here comes Dale Earnhardt out of the car, and as he comes out, how about a nice round of applause? One tough customer, Dale Earnhardt. Congratulations, Dale. As they say in those commercials, buddy, you are one tough customer. You thought you cut a tire down early, but you ended up coming right back. It was not a tire down, but you got down, and then you came right back to win this thing.
Well, we had to make some chassis adjustments. You know, the car worked pretty good all day. It was a little bad at the first, but we made some adjustments, and it got better. So, you know, the car worked real good. I'd like to thank Wrangler, my sponsor, and Prototype Engines, and Jake Elder, and Darrell Cruz, Robert G., all the guys that work on the car. They did a super job with it today.
What kind of thing does this do to your confidence going into tomorrow's World 600?
Well, you know, good things supposed to happen twice, I think, or 3 times or something. We qualified third, you know, for Sunday's race. We qualified third for today's race, and we started third and won the race, so maybe we can start third tomorrow and win the race. I'm looking forward to tomorrow.
Track conditions as you look forward to tomorrow?
Well, they're real good. They got a little bit greasy today, and I hope it don't get no hotter than they did today, because it'll be rough on the drivers and the tires. But you know, our tires worked real well. We I thought I had a bad one at first, but the car was just real loose. We made some adjustments and really helped the car.
That prototype really ran well up under the hood today.
It did. You know, they do good engine work and give us good service, and you know, you can't hardly beat them.
Congratulations to you, Dale Earnhardt, the winner of the Mello Yello 300.
Charlie, you got it.
Average speed 117.724 miles per hour, in which Dale Earnhardt finally takes the curse off this 300-mile, 200-lap event as he comes to first place after 2 second-place finishes. Let's go to Pat Patterson, who is standing by with another one of those who tried so valiantly in this 300-mile effort today.
Standing by with Neil Bonnet. Neil, you finished second here today. You ran a super race. Can you tell me about it?
Well, I tell you, Dale ran a heck of a race and deserved to win the thing. And the first race there, my car just ran super. And right there, from the last pit stop on, we had a broken valve spring or something. The thing was missing a valve. We thought we was going to drop a valve. And all I could do was sit there and just about hold it wide open around the racetrack. Was just a little bit down on power with that problem. But, Dale won the race and he did a heck of a job.
You four really put on a battle out there. And, of course, it looked like there towards the end you were falling back. And then all of a sudden it seemed like, the car just came back to life.
Well, when I dropped that valve, when we had that valve problem, I knew that I was going to be weak, and I was having to run awful hard to keep up with those guys. I dropped back. I told them, let me know about 5 or 6 laps. I wanted to cool the tires down, because I knew to get back around them, it was going to dictate that I held that thing wide open. So I dropped back and got the tires cool and was able to run them down. And it was just about on 7 cylinders, but it had a pretty strong 7.
You started second today. You start 5th tomorrow. You finished second today. I hope that's not an indication as to what's going to happen tomorrow. Your thoughts on the World 600?
I'll tell you, it's going to be one heck of a show. I look forward. I get all enthused thinking about the competition. We're going to have 10 or 12 guys capable of doing what we just did today. It's going to be that much more fun for me sitting in that race car racing with all them guys, and in turn it's going to be one heck of a show for the fans. I hope we have a good day like this and some good racing, and I'll take wherever we finish.
Okay, Neil Bonnet, an excellent run for the